Hello and welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to the TI8 group stage. We're taking a look at our second series of the day, and we're in Group A, Trent.
Excellent. Pleasure to be here. Wow, it's a long way from Group B. We traveled so far across the world, but I'm looking forward to it. It's going to be Fnatic versus Mineski, and it's going to be some fast-paced Southeast Asian Dota. Speaking about traveling across the world,
hey,
you know, they've made their way here.
That's
and
true.
Now they just get to play each other again. That must be kind of dull.
I mean, at the same time, though, is it ever really dull with the Fnatic game? Those guys are crazy.
Of course not.
They're out of their minds.
That's the whole point. We want these guys up against each other. We want to see some good old seed dotes, and this is a rivalry that they certainly know quite a bit about each other. So might see some unusual bans, might see some unusual picks, maybe trying to throw each other off, or you know, maybe it's TI. So you got to go with just exactly what's working. For Fnatic, that's been the Winter Wyvern. Has looked exceptional for them. And I also heard we even had an offlane Winter Wyvern in one of the other games. So
no
I mean, that hero's popping off.
No spoilers, but go check out the other games that are going on as well. Not right now. You should stay here.
Spoil.
Stay here.
So get out of here if you don't want them. Don't make me. I'll do it.
Fair enough. We do have a draft that's already up, so we can hop into that one right now. And we should give a little bit of background as to how these teams did yesterday. Fnatic coming into this one looking very hot, 3-1, only dropping one game off of Liquid. And even that game, they were ahead in the early stages. And on the other side, Mineski, a little bit on the downside, but they're still doing okay. They're in the top 4.
Yeah, I wasn't sure where to put Mineski coming into this tournament, just because I feel like they love to give these lanes to Ice where like he has these ridiculous iconic plays by himself. But right now, with a lot of the laners being picked, I thought it would be very difficult for them to kind of play him and these like typical heroes that he's gone for before, right? Like the Tidehunter. No one's picking Tidehunter because he's a hero that kind of excels by himself, and he can make plays with Gush now, and it's a little bit different than he was before, and he's certainly stronger with allies than he once was. But he's still not really comparable to some of these heroes like Pugnum when you think about like putting on pressure. You know, and then he also gives you this long cooldown and stuff, but they made it work yesterday. They defeated Windstrike with the hero. But then they did fall back on some of those classic Ice heroes yesterday versus EG, and it didn't go quite as well. Working with this Timbersaw, the most iconic of Ice heroes, and then the Pangolier too, but EG found the answer at both matches. So Mineski, they got to find some wins. No one wants to be like even at 3-3 right now, but Fnatic, they've been looking great. They've gone 3 games in a row with Winter Wyvern, 3 wins in a row, so you know, science and statistics dictate that Fnatic have already won, which is stunning.
I think the line is stats don't lie. That's what they say.
That sounds right.
That sounds wrong. Yeah, right. Yeah, that's the one. But yeah, it is going to be a strong hero, and I think that it's just sort of shown how much you can get out of it. Because the thing that we saw yesterday with the Winter Wyvern was that it started top lane, threw out Arctic Burn onto the 2 heroes, and then TP'd bottom lane, and then did the exact same thing and just laned there the whole time. So it's like, no matter where you go, you're going to get hit by a lot of these Arctic Burns and get brought down to pretty low HP. It's annoying. Yeah,
that is a really cool part about Wyvern, too, is that she's not really locked into a single lane at all. I think very good in offensive dual lanes and pretty good in the... you can guard someone like a Spectre for your own team. But with him left in, the Venge and the Tiny going to be picked up together. The Weaver was gone, so we couldn't get this Venge Weaver duo that we've been seeing. And the Tiny has not been something that they've given to Ice much in the past. However, they have already picked it once so far this tournament, and in that one it was gone to Mushi in the safe lane. So we'll see exactly who winds up wielding the big old branch in this one. Fnatic, the other classic heroes they've gone for, the Ench has been banned out. Weaver's gone, so they're going to find something new to pair with their Wyvern.
And it tended to be a lot of early pushing was what we saw yesterday, at least in the series against VGJ Thunder. I don't know if that was a VGJ Thunder thing that they're just focused on with them, or if that's the way that Fnatic just want to play their drafts now. But Necrophos certainly can be played in that role. He can also go late game. He can do a lot of different things.
You can also play with Drow, which is always a nice thing to keep open with your lineup.
Oh, yeah.
If you start off with this Wyvern like this.
And Mineski with the Vengeful Spirit also, this is a hero that I think everybody was starting to say, all right, this is going to be big at TI. We hadn't seen it in a ton of professional matches, but it sort of enables a lot of other heroes to work as well. So I'm kind of curious to see what they want to do with this Venge, if they end up transitioning into a core role, or if it's just going to remain in that support.
Fnatic are they are so into this drafting phase right now. To ban a Batrider?
Yeah.
When's the last time you saw a Batrider? But you know, Batrider very good up against Necrophos, right? It's a 1v1 lane that Necrophos is not going to have a lot of fun with. And it's also a good hero versus Winter Wyvern, because you try and cold embrace someone, he just flies over them, they're just dead. And what else does it do? It jumps into a Drow lineup and grabs somebody, because they might not have any sort of like a swap available because the Venge is already gone. Just kind of crazy. Maybe it's something they saw in a scrim, and that's why they're able to ban it out too. But pretty solid stuff there from the Fnatic squad, and they'll take out the Bloodseeker to boot.
Yeah, it does sort of signal that they could be thinking about that Drow Ranger. The Visage is going to be banned. That was one of the other heroes that was paired with it. We did get to see Drow Visage, and God, those birds hit really freaking hard. So that's going to be taken out of the pool since Abed was owning everybody with it last time around. Maybe another like Helm of the Dominator carrier. We did see a lone druid from them yesterday, if I'm not mistaken. So they could go into that later on. But there's a lot of options available for them if they want to go for this early pressure style that we've been seeing.
And for Mineski, heroes they've used in terms of like these heroes that kind of carry your game, they've gone for that Storm Spirit sort of a style. They used an Alchemist in one of their matches too. Both of them still in the pool. Both of them looking relatively okay. Even like Necrophos has a hard time dealing with an Alchemist because your HP is just always like so consistently high that you got to be really quick on the burst to actually bring them down. And they will ban out that lone druid. Just someone who I think with Ice's Ice heroes, I don't think he does a very good job at pressuring the carry that much. Like it's just not the nature of his heroes. You know what I mean? Like they're usually these heroes that are supposed to do something a bit later on, like that Timbersaw or something.
Right.
So by that nature, you don't really want someone like a lone druid that really needs to be pressured early on, or a Spectre, which could still be a decent option for Fnatic.
Yeah, I mean, we saw before the TI like qualifiers ended up happening, and actually after it as well, a lot of these like Terrorblades, things that would sort of be, all right, we're eventually going to get into a carrying the game situation, but it's sort of changed up their style a little bit. But they can go back to that where they can play for the later game if they want. They've proven that, as it is going to be the Pugna.
Okay, so that limits your potential in terms of going for like one of these harder carries. You don't really want to be pressured in by a Pugna, so could opt for someone a bit safer. Currently, Ursa looks kind of okay. Just like someone who can kind of help out up against the Nether Ward a little bit with like the faster attacks. He would be a focus for the Decrep too, but then he also has ulti, so it kind of goes both ways. Where like Pugna's pretty good against Ursa, but Ursa's pretty good against Pugna. But Ursa's also really nice against the Tiny. So I can see that being a possible option for them. And then the question is this a Universe Necrophos? I think that's the most likely case, but there is a little bit of flexibility there if they think that Universe might be more valuable on something else, like the Enigma still being in the pool.
Yeah, and I mean there is also sort of the answer already with the Vengeful Spirit, but you could potentially get into like a Lincoln Sphere, and that deals with it. And also, honestly, throughout most of the game, the swap isn't going to be a big enough range to deal with it anyways.
Yeah.
Wind Ranger, this is the DJ. God, he played this so well yesterday. He was just owning everybody. Granted, it was with the Drow Ranger, which they can still go for. I feel like the Drow is less palatable against something like a Tiny. That hero can just really cause havoc.
Yeah, it definitely makes Mineski think right now, though. You know, like, do we just pick a Brood here? Do we just go Brood and be like, all right, listen, you are not drowning us, all right? That is one thing, but then Fnatic, they don't even have to commit into it. It's not that big of a deal if they don't get a Drow here. It's not like suddenly their lineup's terrible. So some definite questions. I expect Mineski to use the vast majority of their reserve time here, because typically teams spend it all like on that third pick, but both of them have quite a bit left right now, and I think Mineski aren't quite sure where to go.
The more I look at this Fnatic draft, the more I feel like maybe you just do take something big and heavy like a Spectre and then just sort of delay out the game. Like, these three heroes are amazing at it, and Necro can kind of be that rock that holds the ground for you in team fights and is able to like sit in the lane and say, you just can't come here and try and gank me because you aren't going to kill me. And then maybe you can sort of delay it out, because like Pugna, I always feel it's a little sketchy going late game with that hero. It can be good, but you want to be playing early and fast. I don't know. We'll see how they decide to take it.
Fnatic's turn to pick.
It will be the Wraith King. So that's probably the Isis Ice hero then. So Isis Ice, Wraith King, and then Mushi, Tiny, and then is a support Pugna for jabs maybe? And then we're going to get ourselves... That's probably like the flexibility that I would say is the most likely to be open, is that it ends up being a support Pugna, and then we have this like different core for the mid lane for Moon. But it could just end up being a Moon Pugna. It could, of course, still be a Moon Tiny. So this is the all three flexible cores that can go in all three lanes strat. That is the most popular thing here.
Yeah, like it could be support Wraith King, as crazy as that sounds. We've seen it in this tournament. And I think Wraith King is getting those points up there for most picked hero. We're seeing him everywhere. It's all over the games.
Well, I still like Drow. I think you can now go Drow and ban Brood.
What would be the downside to picking a Drow Ranger at this point?
If the Tiny gets farmed, it can actually create good fights for them.
you had to have swap things that you might need to deal with. It's not
Still
really a
such
Batrider,
a short
but
range, though.
yeah.
Like, it's so hard to actually impact.
Right.
This Wyvern game looks really nice, too. Very clumpy heroes, like very short range stuff, like Pugna coming in for like Nether Blast and stuff in the early game. Once he has Aether and he's more focused on the ultimate, it's a little bit harder, but like Wraith King and Tiny right next to one another.
Yeah.
A lot of pressure on Pilot Eye to stay well hidden.
You know, outside of that, though, they don't have the greatest stunts. I feel like DJ Shackles are kind of should be considered an AoE stun at this point, but
could Invoker here actually. That looks pretty good too, right? With like the Shackles and the Sunstrikes, and then setting up for Sunstrikes too with the Necrophos and using the EMP and everything to control these collapsing heroes.
Okay.
It's a decent option for them. But then you're also playing Invoker into Nether Ward, which can be a little frustrating.
You know, the other hero that's not banned out.
The Templar Assassin.
Amiibo.
The Meepo. Oh, that's true. That's been banned out like every game, hasn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, it has. Are they going to put the threat on?
Oh God, they did it to him.
Goodness. Well, that's gross. All right, you pick 3 laners and go in any lane and you say, okay, but can they lane against Huskar?
Yeah,
that is the question. Fnatic are hoping no. This puts a lot of pressure on doing some sort of weird dual lane, and you just go 2 heroes versus the Huskar. So that's going to open up the other side lanes, as the Huskar is likely going to be running mid. So Fnatic could go greedy with either the Enigma for Universe, or they go back for something like that Spectre for Envy.
5 seconds remaining.
Well, and now, you know, the bans, it's like, I don't know. I think that when I'm looking at this draft right now for Fnatic, if I'm Mineski, you do really need an answer to this Huskar, because like in a way Wraith King can be that answer. A lot of physical damage. I guess Tiny eventually getting into the Silver Edge is pretty good. That's probably the best bet for them.
Honestly, I would just ban AA if I'm Fnatic. Like, I actually think AA would be super solid here. Like, I know it's the default counter to Huskar, but it just looks like a really good game. They have a Necrophos, they have a Huskar. Like, the Ice Blast is really good. It's a good combo in lane with the Wraith King. That was an old classic. You just stun into the Cold Feet. So I'm sure they'll just ban it out. But if they don't, I think Mineski are in a pretty good spot. And they will go for an Envy hero here in the Lycan, someone else who could have abused a little bit of space early on.
Yeah. I mean, that's the thing, is I think that you do want to have... I mean, I guess Envy could potentially take the Huskar himself, too. It sort of depends, I guess, a little bit on... Well, they're going to have not last pick, so Mineski will have one final answer to them at the very least.
Yeah, I think it'll be Abed mid for the Huskar for sure.
Yeah.
Be very surprised if it wasn't.
I like the AA ban.
5 seconds.
But I think you can get away with just Wind Ranger and Wyvern as your supports. Like, I don't think you necessarily need that Enigma kind of a thing for Universe, right? Like, I would be fine if this was a Universe Necrophos. And okay, they will get rid of the default ban of the AA. So respect there from Fnatic to being like, yeah, okay, that's a pretty good hero, guys. Even if the little chilly fingers hasn't been showing up too much in TI so far, he is still very good in that specific scenario.
All the healers and the Huskar, just get them out of here.
You know, AA was actually being first phase banned a lot at the Summit.
Yeah.
I think maybe it was just so teams would have the option for Huskar, and that's why. Like, if you have Huskar in your pool and you just want to make sure, but it's kind of interesting that he fell off so hard to not even being shown in other matches.
Well, and I think that it's this hero that inherently can sometimes have a weak lane stage. Oh!
My boy, the Treant.
So there have been some core Treants recently, but I'm guessing that this is going to be...
Universe Wyvern, probably.
Yeah.
And then Pilot Eye on the Treant, DJ on the Wind Ranger.
A very interesting look. I mean, they could potentially also do like Wind Ranger core and then have, you know, it would be Envy Huskar at that point most likely.
Yep.
Or
yeah, definitely some different options here depending on what this final pick is. If something really throws a wrench in the gears. The Pango is still in. Is that worth mixing it up to like a support Pugna or support Wraith King for them? I'm a big fan of the Pango, and you get to watch Ice play it, but... you want to go Huskar? You want to play these kind of games? We'll play those kind of games. I will say, Treant Protector is a pretty good hero to have versus Tinker. He's one of those heroes that feels pretty good. He's a little slow for movement and stuff, but he can definitely be scouting you out on the sidelines and everything, and it looks like it will be as expected, the Universe Wyvern and the Treant for a Pilot Eye. Very gremlin-y face there. Goodness.
That is spooky.
Yeah,
that
I would not want to run into that guy in a dark tree alley.
The children's tales, right? What was it? The Hansel and Gretel or whatever it is?
Sounds good. Grimm Brothers?
I don't think that it was a tree that tried to cook them, though.
That looks like a witch to me. I'm sure it's close enough.
Okay. Or a troll.
So that looks like it'll be a Jabs Pugna. Yeah, Moon. Okay.
10 seconds remaining.
All right, Ice Ice once again reprising his role here on the Wraith King. So far, I think he's 1-1 on that role. So looking to get himself into the positives here at TI.
Yeah, they need to make something happen. And I will say, just based upon the results that we've seen so far, you would anticipate Fnatic being a little bit more heavily favored going into this game. But it's Fnatic. Anything can happen. And
in both directions.
it's true. You know, some days, envy giveth, envy taketh away. And honestly, to me, it's felt like it's been all of the other pieces of Fnatic also that have been stepping their game up. More so than before even. Like, DJ's always been a stud, but yesterday, I don't know, they gave him something good in the water here because he was playing out of his mind.
I think what's going to happen here for Fnatic is that Abed's going to get really heavily focused in the first, like, 3 minutes. And maybe they'll send DJ mid, but I'm almost expecting that they'll put it so that Abed's being sacrificed a little bit and drawing all that attention mid. Because if you look at the 2 side lanes they would have then with the Treant +1 and then the Necrophos +1, like, probably going to be the Necro and the Wind Ranger together and then the Wyvern and the Treant together. That is so much harass. No one can stand that lane.
Yeah.
Like, constant punches, constant leech seeds, Arctic Burn. I'm not sure how you would need a lot of regen. Like, it looks pretty devastating. Now, the downside to that would be if they do allow Alba to get bullied, and then you have this Tinker in the mid lane there from Moon, they'll be into some different troubles with him getting up to the earlier boss. But that will put all the pressure on the Tinker. So, curious to see exactly where we wind up with the lanes here.
I mean, to be honest, it does really feel to me like this is going to be the type of game where you always want to ensure that Abed has a good time. I think I could see them, like, sending DJ down there to the bottom, or rather to the... oh, actually, they're sending DJ and Universe together. Interesting.
That's a lot of long-range spam.
That is... Yeah, that's a very frustrating thing, I'm sure. I'm feeling Fnatic here, though. And I think that, like, if you do end up rotating Pylai Die, or maybe you don't take tree armor all that often anymore, I'm surprised that they're not going to think at least about sending Abed some more help. Maybe they will a little bit later on.
In terms of lanes, who are they sending mid? It is just going to be the Tinker, right? They're not going to... Yeah, okay.
Yeah, Mushi is just going to rotate, and he wants to head top, but eventually it will be Tinker walking his way back towards the mid to get his block off. And, well, you can see that already controlling this side of the map. Do any of these heroes down here have a Quelling Blade? No Quelling Blade on the Wraith King or the Pugna. Obviously not the Pugna, but means that these trees aren't going to be able to get cut down.
Yeah, it can be kind of fun to just, you know, go for the whole clear cutting up against the Treant, but I wouldn't even be expecting to be down here, honestly. Like, playing Treant, it's just so much more comfortable when you're playing in the Radiant off lane as opposed to the Radiant safe lane. If you look, like, the tree's easy to work with, and you can't move from side to side, so you're pretty limited down here, whereas in the top lane it's a lot easier. Just, like, jump from one side to the other when you're actually past the river.
Yeah, and I think that we'll be seeing him just sort of constantly harass here.
Ninja Boogie's, is he going for a play?
He thinks about it.
This is one way to win a hard lane. He's going to inch his way up into the nice safe spot.
I mean, the scary part here is that you do have, you know, a soul ring that's going to be built by Huskar. So once he gets that ring of regen, he might just bring it right on out.
Oh, Ninja Boogie will decide that there's no instant courier.
Yeah.
So both teams just thinking and making sure they spot all 5 heroes before bringing the couriers out. Wise maneuvers to ensure you actually get that early regen.
Yeah. Well, again, mid lane, a lot of pressure there onto Abed. You can see top as well that they're trading hits pretty consistently. Wave of Terror, very annoying to deal with, particularly if you can just sort of punch somebody with the tree after the fact as well.
Yeah, the spam of it is just absolutely ridiculous as we watch this mid lane get going here. Moon just going to try and keep his pacing far away from Abed, trying to avoid the harass. But the earlier levels of the Huskar are not the scariest thing.
No.
Gets a hell of a lot worse.
And I mean, Tinker does have some answers. Laser's a pretty good amount of pure damage. As top lane, we do see Ninja Boogie taking the punches from Universe and DJ, as he is going to take a lot of damage here. This might end up being a kill if they're not careful. Does he have Power Shot available? As Avalanche gets thrown out, and that's going to keep his buddy alive. No Power Shot as he's only level 1 on Wind Ranger.
This is a really high damage lane. Like, very difficult to sustain yourself versus Wyvern and Wind Ranger. I feel like they took both of their heaviest hitters and put them together, whereas like the other ones I'd proposed were more of like a medium blend, right? Like the Necro and Treant are both worse, I would say, if they're harassing.
Oh, Envy gets the range creep deny, but does take a beating for it before he goes down. Able to live with the Ghost Shroud. Pili Die now going to turn the punches back around onto Ice Ice Ice, and the damage is going to be enough. First blood going the way of Jabs.
Yeah, Pili Die can't even keep chasing there, even with this really low cooldown Leech Seed. Not enough. 16 seconds, a bit too long for now. Going to need a few more points into it.
Again, it is the range creep deny, which is helpful, but having to lose your Necrophos there, not the best thing in the world. It does feel like this is that sacrificial lane, though, and it's the style that Envy's been growing accustomed to playing.
Yeah, I mean, it means they're not dual laning Abed mid. I guess they just felt like it wouldn't have been good enough with just the Venge and the Tinker. And Tinker's doing relatively okay on his own, so they'll just go with the trade instead.
Fire Blast and the punches. Trinket hits pretty freaking hard, and they're going to be able to take down the Pugna Ward as well.
Only 20 gold. What a sick joke. Come on, man. This thing's so annoying. It's worth way more than 20 gold. You think Pugna wouldn't pay 20 gold for that thing? Tell you.
You know, it's kind of interesting that he decided to go for the Nether Ward in this. Like, there are a lot of spell spams that come out from Fnatic, but I feel like we tend to see more often the Decrep picked up.
Yeah, I think it's just because, like, the Decrep lasts a pretty long time, so what kind of follow-up damage are you going to have, right, from a Wraith King? It's like 3.5 seconds of Wraith King's just like, well, I know I'm burning him a little, but I actually punch harder.
Right. Well, Jabs picks up an Illusion Rune. We'll send these little Pugnas off to punch away into Eternal Envy. As top lane, more harassment being leveled into Ninja Boogie is, my god, look at the damage, and the Shackle lands. That should be enough to find themselves a kill up your top.
I'm surprised they made it this long, almost 4 minutes without even dying in that lane. Speaking of dying, Moon getting a little bit low here from the old Huskar spam. But look at those denies coming out from Moon here. 9 already done, just constantly getting that annoyance on the range creep or any other creep for that matter using the laser.
Yeah, and it's still only a couple of levels difference in spite of all of those denies that we've been able to see.
Jeez, the double null though just gives him so much damage.
Yeah, it's kind of crazy. He's hitting rather hard. The TP comes in. Ninja Boogie is going to be in the area as well. They actually cancel that one. Oh, was that the tree?
No, they tried a wraparound play with the Pugna, but I don't think. Oh, maybe it was canceled, but he wouldn't have wanted to complete it anyway. But
okay.
Thinking it probably wasn't.
About 5-minute mark coming up soon. We're going to have those bounty runes spawning.
Ice is cutting some trees here. A little bit of Paul Bunyan action here. Falling down very fast. Bottom lane, they'll initiate here, and with the blast.
Bit of damage. Envy in trouble. The punches, the skeletons, but immediately the Ghost Shroud and the walk away. Pili Die still living, gonna head off into the trees and force them back yet again. The damage from the full combo and the Wraith Fire Blast DOT kills him off.
Oh, Radiant, they'll scan to see the Ninja Boogie's up on the high ground trying to steal their rune, and now they'll hunt him down. This means they get the second. DJ just gone. I know what's worth it in this match. You are not worth the effort. Farm our gold for my team on a bounty rune.
Yeah, still 2 apiece. Moon taking a lot of harassment there. 4 stacks the Burning Spears up. He does have a Fairy Fire, so should be fine. Yeah, he's good.
Wasted Fairy Fire. Wow.
He'll Shrine up, though, and that gets him back up to full after dropping his Null Talismans. His bottom lane, Envy wants to take out these creeps while the rest of Mineski is gone. Again, dropping that Nether Ward. And potentially trying to push as a Shackle. Gonna keep back Ice there for the moment, I guess.
I think overall, game plan looking fairly okay for the Dire side. Like, this Tinker's not getting destroyed, right? Oh, DJ, though.
Mushi?
Looking a little bit better, but...
He's getting really low. I'll live, though. And another Magic Missile goes out. That forces back Universe yet again. Oh, Moon. He's actually dead.
Not enough time. All right, things not looking so good for Mineski's. Moon goes down. Practically GG. But yeah, he's falling about 1K now behind the Huskar in terms of net worth, so a little bit rough for that one. And Ice is just going to pull the wave.
And I don't know if Abed can really, or if the Tinker can come back into this lane if he doesn't have help, because you have level 6 on Abed now, actually level 7. And
oh, that snipe!
Oh my god.
He actually got him!
Are you kidding me?
I thought the juke was coming, but it was not there. Whew, DJ.
He's pretty good at Wind Ranger. Teams need to start thinking about banning that one out.
I mean, he's only been playing it for like 3 months or something. It's like half the games I see him.
They're bringing absolutely everybody to try and stop this Huskar in the mid lane here, as he is going to get caught by the Avalanche. They have Moon in the area, but they don't have the range to initiate. And DJ showing up, able to find the Shackle. Mushi in trouble. They're bringing in the Wraith King as well, and it looks like that is enough to dissuade Fnatic from going further.
I don't even think he needed that TP. But he'll still get back here in time for the wave, so it's not even a costly TP at all.
Man, back and forth we go. 3-3, 1,000 gold lead. They're getting into it.
Yeah, we got 2 points in the marches now for Moon. So that might be enough to just secure him some last assists. They'll once again go on Envy, but...
He's got the heals. He's got the TP.
Yeah.
That man is out of here.
Oh, but Treant. Now decrept and slowed, but... Yeah, the problem of not being able to chase. They don't have any detection with them. Top lane.
A bit of damage out from Mushi as they're going to toss the Winter Wyvern up in the air. Does not have any more stick charges. The tree not quite going to hit. And they will escape.
And they'll also leave the TP up top too. Just barely finding him as he was escaping. So, ruin time for 8 minutes. Get ourselves a regen in the top. Okay, fine for Abed. Not that he particularly cares about it. As long as he denies it from Nana, that's a more important aspect. Oh, DJ finds it. That's much better.
That's what you like to see. And throws
Free
out the
harass.
little power shot also onto Tinker. Why not? I mean, Abed, he does have right break. It just jumps forward there. The decrypt comes after the fact. Nice play by Jabs to show up, and that keeps him away from killing that Tinker. But you have to keep so many heroes there now just to like remain even against this Huskar.
Yeah, and he's pretty low for Moon. He just wants to hold back 2 power shots, and he needs to go down, so... He is just waddling. No boots, Tinker, 2 nulls, just trying to get his way over to these camps and get a stack going at the 9-minute mark, and that just means he's not there for any of these other tower pushes, so... Mid falls, top is unharassed, and they've got issues. Are they even going to get this stack here? Yeah, he got them both really nicely done by Moon. Very experienced Tinker player.
Yeah, he's doing it. Still hurting a lot, though. Like, I mean, look at what he's saying.
Right.
All right, DJ.
Right. There's no way,
okay.
right? There's no... Oh, my God. Look at this range. It's on... Oh, it's so close.
Oh, my God. He knew. He's like, all right, I got to get out of here.
Yeah, he had a ward, so it would have been pretty bad if he died to that.
Yeah. What if that was a talent? When Ranger's range is doubled on power shot.
It should just be across the map, honestly. I'm in on that. Let's
I
go.
like it. Trying to steal this stack here. They do still have
Abed targeted here. Thrown in.
They throw him in and able to find the stun. The Ava to follow. They're starting to take down Abed, but he just turns and life breaks. Trying to live through this. Is going to be able to walk away. Jabs also goes down. So far, no good for Mineski as they do hit onto Envy. This would be a big pickup for them, and they are able to find it. I think they death pulse to his death there as Wraith King going to get popped again. DJ just making it happen over and over.
Ulti was there, but it looks like no mana, it would seem.
You know, oftentimes it feels like you don't mind if the position 5 dies. In this game, and in Fnatic games, I feel like you don't mind if Envy dies. I don't know. It's just my feeling of how they play it.
He's really well farmed, though. I mean, he's
Yeah.
second net worth, so it is still a pretty big kill, but obviously trading that many for it is not going to be worth it. Honestly, the best part of that trade is the fact that Moon is just not there. And he was mid lane getting farm, now he's top lane getting some farm, because he desperately needs to get items. He's still working on Soul Ring at 10.5 minutes. You know, this is where you want to see like 1,000 gold into bots or something. You're like, yeah, this Tinker's slaying it. And Envy's just walking at him.
I mean, you know, this is the thing. Like, he doesn't have Reaper's Scythe, but there's no threat because he has no points in missiles right now. I think still on the Tinker. You know, and at this stage of the game, you just can't afford to make those types of aggressive plays. Looks like Mineski, done with the craziness, is going to pressure bottom, but simultaneously, the pressure is going to start to be mounted up top by Radiant.
No, I like this, though. I think they can secure this tower, although Ice is pretty deep.
Yeah, taking a lot of damage here. Winter Wyvern moving in as well. DJ, they able to find the overgrowth. Good bit of damage coming out as the trees are chopped, but Ice still nowhere left to go. They find 2 stuns, kind of stack them on top of each other and able to walk away now. They do take down the tree, but likewise, they're going to turn the Winter's Curse onto the Venge. Can they kill her off?
Oh,
Yes,
snipe
indeed,
from
duty.
DJ.
Great plays coming in the perfect timing as they manage to time that out and take themselves the Wraith King down 1 time and a 2nd time through as well as Abed shows up and is going to finally finish Ice. Again,
Man.
disaster for Mineski.
And good communication there
Top
from
lane.
Fnatic, too. Oh, yeah, a little bit of pressure. He's threatening it, but what they did was Abed jumped on top of the Pugna, and Jabs tried to just decrep himself and TP out, but that was like a max range shot as he was just about to finish his TV from the power shot to clean him up. Really nice communication. And just good rotation, too, where, like, that was a forced dive from Mineski, right? And it looked like it was a full rotation from Fnatic kind of a deal, where they were the ones that were capitalizing on it. But Mineski, they feel pressured, right? This Wraith King just has to throw himself anywhere he can to draw attention away from his Tinker.
And this is a Huskar draft that is sort of coming online at this stage. You look at his items, he's got the armlet, building towards that Heaven's Halberd rather soon as well. And if you get into a decent timing on Roche, this game just kind of completely falls off the rails. And they know where this Tinker is going to be. They actually are going to run into Ninja Boogie instead.
That's good coverage from Ninja Boogie, just kind of like getting in the way. It's very reminiscent of like basically how Pilot Eye plays, honestly, where you just see him like in between all the time, right? And going down, like when people are trying to gank Envy on some splitting hero.
And he was able to immediately get the D ward as well.
So we haven't talked a lot about this this Winter Wyvern from Universe. Now I have seen this theory before, the Meteor Hammer.
Oh,
You can follow up after the Winter's Curse. It's pretty cool, not gonna lie. It's a pretty neat little strat. I think other teams were going for like the Mask of Madness Winter Wyvern instead. But I like this option. You know, comboing up and chasing a Tinker and stuff too. Gives him solo kill potential versus the Tinker, which you wouldn't usually have.
Already a ton of team fight that comes out from this hero, and then you sort of double down on it and get a little bit of extra utility. It doesn't, you sort of lose a little bit of value in that I think Wyvern can already push waves well enough. As, well, Vengeful Spirit found, Mushi shows up, Avatos. This hero is not that tanky, although with the tree armor. Nice play.
Dire's structures are fortified.
Mineski a little bit too quick with that.
Dire's top tower is under attack.
Yeah, I'm not sure that was related to the ward or what, but either way, surviving hurt enough.
Top tower has fallen.
14 minutes in, 5,000 gold lead for Fnatic. And again, the kill score, it doesn't look all that bad.
Yeah.
But the thing that really, really hurts here is that the Tinker is so underfarmed.
Yeah, but they gotta make something happen here, right? They gotta secure some Roche, secure some tier 2s or something for the side of Fnatic, or what is this all for?
Right. That's a good thing. I mean, I feel like we were getting to the point where we're almost past the curse of Fnatic wanting to be behind for them to win the game eventually, but that is sort of still relevant, I would say.
Oh, there's our Meteor Hammer. See if Universe can go pull off some combos. Just
I'm
gonna
really
start
excited
wandering
to see
around
this.
with it, be like, I could go for a solo kill right about now, I think. That ward will not be scouted by the one that's in the area there from Mineski, so might be enough to provide a kill onto Jabs and Abed. Well, he's gonna get the vision thanks to it, and they're gonna know it's there though, because he just jumped from the low ground.
Well, they
There
got
it is.
Here we go. Oh,
Ba-ba-da-ba-da-ba-da.
he got dunked.
Yep.
That's great. If that's like 2 heroes, I'm so excited to see that. You know what I mean?
And what's cool about it is that like you can still use it on top, even though you don't get the initial damage. It's the lingering damage that does it all, right? So
Yeah.
that's all that matters.
Well, and on top of that, it's the stun,
Yeah.
right? As long as you time it pretty perfectly there. So really excited to see that. I cannot wait. It's going to be a little while, 50 seconds until the other cooldown. Other things that you can use to deal with this, I mean, Tinker needs to get into a Blink Dagger. He's got his bots done, and still very far away from finishing off anything like a Blink. I mean, you might even need to go for something like Aether Lens or something too, but I feel like there's so much mobility on Fnatic that, I don't know, it could be really tough.
Yeah, that was a really fast Roche.
Jeez.
The power of Huskar. Envy, I wasn't sure what his next item would be. He's gone for the Veil into the Hood, and then he's thinking about a Blink and the Yules. Atos also would have been a pretty nice option, I think, this game. I think someone like Pugna, who's just like really fast and running around the fight, they don't have the best options for if he doesn't end up being shackled. So it can be nice to just like close the gap on him or a Wraith King, or even like Tiny. It's a pretty nice Atos game in general. But speaking of Tiny, Mushi is, well, speaking of non-factors, like he just hasn't been able to play Tiny at all. I don't know, his lane went kind of okay, but it didn't get him into any sort of a quick mobility item. He's just now finishing up the Blink Dagger.
Oh, Abed. He's invis and had tree armor on him. I don't know if he's going to be able to kill him off in time. The stack's great decrep there from Jabs. That keeps the Tinker alive. Yeah, I'm sort of... you know, we talked about the Weaver in the last series with Secret and the problem of it getting bursted. I feel like you run into a similar issue with Wind Ranger where you can just get bursted, particularly by this Tiny. But the tree armor is one of the cooler ways to deal with that problem.
Yeah, it is quite a bit of damage block, and Most players, they go for like maxing of either the Nature's Guise or the Leech Seed, but Pilot Eye definitely fits his style more to be in the Living Armor. You know, he already has plenty of heroes to push waves. He is a true position 5 Treant where it's pretty hard for him to be involved in the fights too. So it's an interesting take. He didn't have to play that aggressive because the rest of his team was just fighting like crazy, so he's going to be more focused on wards and just keeping their buildings up, and very handy against a Tinker and a Pugna who just want to chip away.
Yeah. Well, and the other thing is that it's sort of, you know, people talk about the instant blow up that comes from a tiny. It's not really instant. You have the duration of the toss, and, you know, if somebody just yells out, you know, tree armor Wind Ranger, then he can just click on the
he just
portrait.
used it on the tower, not himself, though.
Oh, no! The overgrowth, the decrep, he is going to go down. Abed, can he find anything to return this? They swap him away, trying to save Mush's life, but the Winter's Curse
Give it
is
to
gonna
him.
be there. And that should be a kill as they do drop down the hammer.
Sash resistance was almost enough. You never want to target Tiny if you don't have to. In that case, he did have to.
Right.
But quickly ended there.
Envy taking some of the damage. They have the magic missile out as well. They buy back on the tree just to give him the armor.
What a best friend, man.
Oh my god.
Can this man do any more for Eternal Envy in his lifetime?
I don't think so. As well, a blink away there. We'll keep Wraith King alive for the moment. And he doesn't have a TP, but still. The buyback tree armor. What a guy.
True player. That blink dagger, just say goodbye. Just it's never coming, you know?
That's okay. He just needs the armor.
It's okay. He's never going to see a creep wave anyway with this. He's got a Wyvern with a Meteor Hammer. He's got a support Wind Ranger. He's got a Necrophos.
Moon gonna attempt to hold this tower. He's taking a lot of damage. Meanwhile, though, bottom, they're able to find themselves the Wraith King, and he does not have reincarnation. Another Meteor Hammer. Just dropping it on people.
Wow, he was way back there.
Dire's bottom tower is under attack.
He didn't have a TP for a while, and then I guess he just felt like cutting waves was the better play.
Yeah, it definitely shows, like, Mineski understand the exact status of this game and what position they're in. It's all about just space, space, space. Try and make Tinker relevant.
Well, and after the initial death, he hasn't died again. It's just that he hasn't been able to get a ton of the CS either. So if he can stall it out, things could start to turn around.
Honestly, the fact that they still have all the tier 2s, I'm feeling pretty okay. Like, think about how long they had this Aegis and everything. It's only another minute left. You held your tier 2s. You can be pretty pleased with that at the moment. Downsides, they still haven't gotten too much out of Mushi. He's now 1-2-2. Sure, he'd love to be hunting some more, but he's kind of waiting to jump on anyone who tries to pounce on these tier 2s, and he's going to be the big initiator for that fight.
Well, and the other thing, too, you look at this. Universe has picked up a Blink Dagger now, so having this type of initiation where he can just blink on top of the Tinker, immediately Winter's Curse, and then there's the follow-up, it does feel like they're starting to even get some of the answers for when that Tinker does become farmed.
Yeah.
The heroes that you would traditionally think of as Tinker counters, but it works when they do it like this.
It's kind of the same thing with DJ, too, like the idea of he got the Javelin, but he didn't complete into the full Maelstrom because he just wants that Blink Dagger to really help secure themselves some further pushing into the game. And Pilot Eye, contrary to my belief at least, has gotten way more space. He's already up to 700 more gold, so has some possibilities here. And he's also skipping out on those earlier talents. Doesn't feel like he needs the cooldown and Living Armor. He just wants to go back for his Nature's Guise and his Leech Seed. It's a really cool idea because, like, it is very sacrificial to get those early levels in Living Armor. You just feel like such a weaker hero versus your enemies, but this is a good way of making up for it by just skipping the talents.
Okay, I like it. The Aegis is going to be reclaimed now as the tier 2 tower falls in the top lane. Tinker kind of in a dangerous position, but with nobody else in the area. Pylai die. He needs to overgrowth here if he wants to hit it. He does it a little bit late. Pylai die not able to connect with that one.
Yeah, he went for the like easterly guess, thinking he was going to blink back to the side or something, I think, for the secondary march, and instead he went deeper. So unfortunate, but not a big deal. Well, kind of a big deal because it's still level the first point in the overgrowth, so 100 seconds.
Yeah. Tinker just keeps on being able to move around this map, and, well, if he goes west at all, he will die. But knowing that there are Tinker wards over there, Moon doing a good job of playing around where they're most likely going to maintain vision, which is solid to see.
I can't tell if I'm starting to get a little worried for this Mineski line or Fnatic lineup. Like, they're not progressing that quickly. I feel like the Tinies end up getting quite a few items. After that Blink Dagger, he's now well on his way towards a Shadow Blade if he wants that.
Right.
He could even think about comboing into like a Dagon. Actually, was kind of cool this game if it wasn't for the Huskar, I suppose. But like the Wind Ranger and then the Wyvern and then the Necro, these are all very vulnerable heroes.
Well,
Might not want to go for the Echo Saber because of the Ghost Shroud, but
I mean, even going back for like the earlier points, like trying to get Huskar down to the low HP, Dagon isn't like terrible for that either because his magic resistance isn't going to be that high leading up to it. But yeah, I'm kind of sort of a like mind where things feel like they could start to be getting a little bit scary, particularly if somehow Mineski are able to stop the second Aegis from being picked up by Fnatic, or if they can steal one themselves.
Universe is on the Tinker hunt here with the ward, camping up top, waiting for him to show, and then see if he can get a solo kill. So it's about 1,000 HP on the Tinker, about 1,200 when he actually shows. He probably has enough damage to solo kill as long as he can get off the Splinter Blast on him.
Okay. Watch for that. Fortunately for Universe, Tinker is down bottom though, and continuing to just push. Not at all afraid. They do have the blink on Envy. And he's going to now TP out as Moon just going to keep the pressure going as top lane. They do find Mushi.
Yeah, nice initiation from Universe. Knows there's no chance of a blink out and easy follow-up here. Oh, okay.
There's
Maybe. Yeah, there we go.
Instant.
Alright, so Tinker comes mid because they know that's where the push wants to come. So instantly shove this wave out as fast as possible. Treant, Abed nearby, but they won't catch them.
So 8,000 gold lead, 13-6. It's a very technical match. Teams moving back and forth, trying to catch one hero out. And so even though they didn't catch the Tinker, getting that Tiny, very helpful. And it also means that Envy can do things like this, where he heads up top and pushes this out because he knows that there isn't really a kill threat with Tiny off the map.
Yeah, they also revealed it down bottom on a Illusion Rune, rather. So they know that they're in their jungle right now. So Pilot Eye just kind of playing scout for Universe who's near the tower.
God, he would love to have Reaper Sight right there. Just jump in and punch this guy. How many times have you loved to just throw that ability out on a Tinker?
Well, Tiny's still dead for a long time thanks to that, so boldly grabbing the wave here.
Envy doesn't care. He's farming up their jungle too.
Hey, he's got some living armor, you know, nothing to worry about here.
Roche is back up.
They're trying to bait jabs bottom. If there was anyone else here, it might work. But alright, Ice Ice coming through. So this little duo trying to say, like, okay, if they're Roshan, we're just going to get this tower.
And I mean, they do have Blink Blade Mail. They can jump on Pile Die, but the Winter's Curse, they find themselves the Pugna, and now going to drop down the Meteor Hammer, everything. Moon is over here. They do have Overgrowth available, and thinking about using it, and they catch him. It's on to 3. They killed off the Winter Wyvern, but immediately going to dust, and this is not the way that you want this fight to go for Fnatic. They end up losing 2 for nothing.
Yeah, just a nice little bait play there. I think they just thought it was a split pushing. Well, I guess the Wraithing had just shown great recently.
The toss back. They find another. Envy goes down.
Those are massive losses right now. Oof. And that's going to be the tower 2, which is just more space for Tinker, and showing why this looked like a pretty good 10th pick. They have decent answers, but there's no like super Tinker counter. You know, there's no like Nyx Assassin or something, or something to just completely disrupt the way you want to play.
And it's like, you want to get those waves pushed out. You can completely understand that. But then Roche was up. Like, it felt like that should have been a pretty easy run to Roche. Take it down with Tiny still dead. But not deciding to go for that one. And it ended up getting punished a little bit by Mineski, who leapt on the opportunity. And now Ice Ice is going to walk in, see that Roche is there, relatively low. Can they take it at all themselves?
It's definitely possible. I mean, with the damage from the Tiny, they could. It would take longer, even with the Vengeful Spirit, than the Radiant side, because they just have this Huskar. What kind of threats? Like, Winter's Curse is now back up with a Blinking Wyvern. They would need some serious kills, I think, to go for it. Yeah, Huskar is just a lot easier. In fact, the Wave of Terror will come through now just to make sure they're not in there.
It does sort of feel like Mineski are going to have a better chance, as we do check a look at this replay here, of keeping them away from the pit too because of the Tinker. And yeah, it's, you know, everything looks pretty good. Shackles, combo, all that, but the turnaround life during the Universe just dies because Tinker goes out of control. And then Envy, I guess, just got caught out of position here as he was trying to walk back towards base.
Yeah, and a nice sentry there too. So making sure they got the bonus kill on the Pile Die. But Aghanim Scepter now done for Tinker, fully online and operational. Game is extremely difficult. Goes for the Nether Ward health too. I like that. It's harder for him to be very active in the fights, and it's really likely that he dies because he just doesn't have any farm, right? Because he's support Pugna. He's got an urn and an 8th lens. It's not terrible, but he's just not that rich, you know?
Oh, Shackle lands there as well. They have caught themselves a Pugna and going to be able to find that kill.
Yeah, but look at this Nether Ward health. I mean, this thing is just surviving forever. That was just some serious space.
Fnatic going to take their cue now to go in towards Roshan. They were trying to bait out bottom while that was happening. They had the Tiny and the Tinker, and Tiny is actually able to get a little bit of extra damage in, but Pylai finds him right at the start. The Shackle lands, and Mushi taking the damage. He's trying to run away. They managed to still get themselves the Rosh, but as they drop down the second Sentry Ward, and the Meteor Hammer lands, and that's going to be a dead Mushi.
I think he could have just TP'd, because he killed the tree down low.
That's a good
After
point.
the Shackle. I thought he was going to, but maybe he thought the Wyvern was closer or something and thought he had a better chance of escaping through Invis. That's probably what his thought process was.
Fortunate there. As Mushi ends up being punished, and now with an Aegis and Cheese, could be time to try and take down the last of these tier 2s. Envy's not there with them, but they should be moving towards mid soon.
Dire's
10-second
middle tower is under
BKB,
attack.
yeah. That is a bit of an issue. But they certainly need like a full bull rush right now from Fnatic, right? Like you really don't want to rest too much more. I think you just want to close out these towers and then try and find that big pick off to lead you into the tier 3. And securing some shrines, getting some better map control, this kind of stuff that'll take you forward. It doesn't mean go crazy and try and win the whole game in the next 3 minutes or something like that. But it certainly felt like they had a much bigger lead and maybe are playing almost a bit too safe. But it is TI, and that's kind of how these games tend to go.
Yeah, this is also, I mean, the weird thing that happens, I think, in this group in particular is that you have this like team that Fnatic that so badly wants to get into the top 4. If you're down in the bottom 4, you're going to be playing in best-of-1 elimination matches in the brackets, and that just, it's ridiculous how good some of these teams are, and depending upon what matchup you get, you might get the hardest person you could face off. So, scary stuff indeed, and making sure that they dot all their I's and cross their T's. 30 minutes rather, coming up. 9,000 net worth lead.
Doesn't really feel like it though, does it?
No.
Just because of like how frustrating this Tinker is. Because, you know, I'm saying things like, you know, maybe they should be playing faster and stuff, but honestly, the pressure from Moon has been absolutely absurd this game. That I feel like every time I look at the heroes on Fnatic, there's one of them in each lane, and so that's partially why they have so much of a net worth lead, because they're just, you know, not really being picked off. There's no real threat when they go for these split push saves. Like right now, this will be one of the best pickoffs they've had. Just Envy caught right next to the tower, blown up, and that's 1K gone. Like if they can just do that a few more times, suddenly this game just gets even. And that's going to push into this objective with the skeletons. Probably 2 racks with no buyback here. It could lead to a threat from the Winter Wyvern if they actually opt for this. And yeah, Universe is going to show. So, oh, they're going to be able to save this.
Okay.
They didn't commit to the full push, and they have a treant.
Again, maybe just not fully prepared for it, but yeah, that one hurts. You'd love to be able to secure yourself a tower after that, particularly with the Necrophos down. And Universe just hanging out there waiting to the side.
Mushi's also hanging out.
All right.
It's a lot of HP to try and get through, though. Almost 1,800 when he's full.
Yeah, particularly with Universe sitting right behind him. There are actually still 4 heroes from Mineski, and
oh, but Universe, that's the hero they want.
There's the stun. They're able to get it. The Avatos and the damage coming in from the Tinker as well. He gets the Winter's Curse, but it's about to wear off. They actually buy back on the tree to throw some more armor onto them all, and now the chase forward. They find themselves the kill almost onto that Wraith King. He's coming back in just a second. Can Abed live through this one, though? Because there's going to be a lot of damage coming from Moon. He's actually low on HP, and they managed to find it. Reaper's Sight down, done, and dusted. Ice is dead.
It felt like they were initiating on Pilot Eye, and at the very last second, they saw Universe. And they're like, oh, try and target him, and try and get everything on top of him. And then they end up just tossing him away from everyone.
Yeah.
So that he couldn't win his curse, but on the other hand, they didn't just get the instant blow up on top of him instead. So he's allowed to glimmer, survive, and what could have been a complete disaster for Fnatic and a sure loss of the tower ends up being a good defense that just cost the Trina buyback.
Yeah, and Pilot doesn't care about that. He bought back for living armor earlier.
Yeah. And he has gone for the 2-second tree respawn time. Ignored! And goes to the 90 damage. How dare you. I like the 2-second tree. I've come around on that talent because honestly, I mean, how often is Pilot Eye going to punch somebody?
I mean, when he does, though, they're going to feel it. That's for sure.
No, it's nice for farming on the sides too, but sometimes
I think
those
the
trees,
big one,
man.
too, is the life break cast range. How good that ability is for getting in on top of these heroes.
Yeah, definitely.
Well, they're going to take down that Pugna ward pretty quickly. The Decrep is there to try and save its life for the moment. Even though, well, Tinker does burn through the Aegis one time. A toss back here from Mushi would be really big, but they do still have a BKB available for the Huskar. He's going to life break just to take off the Decrep. And God, Tinker is hard to play against.
Yeah, it's Huskar especially. Like he gets low and then just stunning laser. You're very disappointed. 320 pure.
And you don't even necessarily need to do it onto the Huskar himself because of that refraction that you get from the Aghanims. You can throw it onto a creep or whatever you want.
Envy's down bottom to try and help the wave, but the march is too much.
Moon thought about TPing out of there, but he's sticking around for the moment. I guess he wants to get the next wave also.
Yep. Close to the 30-second mark, so sneaks in behind Envy, who's just pushing. Very frustrating to play against this, but Envy at least has the bots, so he can just stay down here as long as necessary. Keep this going.
Fight
no
breaking
real
out.
threat.
Abed finds Ninja Boogie, immediately going to jump on him. The Decrep is there to try and save Ninja Boogie's life, but he will eventually burn. And meanwhile, topside as well, they're able to find themselves one to blink away, though, Mushi.
Yeah. Universe just can't control the Tiny, because if he tries to Winter's Curse the Tiny, there's the Sass resistance. If he tries to Winter's Curse a creep or something, then the creep just dies too fast. So, unfortunately, nothing that he can really do. And good plays by Mushi to get so aggressive like this and cut the waves. Not allowing them to snowball in with the lead that they've had. And this has been the story of Mineski this whole game. They've done such an excellent job of cutting waves. And it cost them a few weird deaths, right? Those times we saw Ice just dying and getting caught out. And Mushi, same thing. But it's keeping them alive in a game where it feels like they should have lost already.
Definitely. Dying for a cause. And this entire time, like, you know, trying to send these heroes down here one at a time to deal with Tinker. We saw what happened last time. They ended up losing two, and then afterwards Envy died just randomly also. So they need to bring numbers wherever they go, but when they bring numbers, they can't, if they don't bring numbers, they can't kill people. And somebody else is pushing away. Smoke up. 3 heroes. Head and bottom. They know that somebody is going to need to be here to push out this wave eventually. It looks like Envy is going to be the one that might catch this gank.
Bit of a tough one, though. They're going to have to wait a while.
Oh, he just blinked.
Radiant's middle tower
Yeah, and he immediately walks back into the base. He knows what's coming.
That is a very safe place to be.
That's
Buys
really
his
good.
BKB. Wow, the dire scan exactly where he TPs, but he TPs the wrong... Like, if he TP'd in the trees, they would have caught that precisely. But he was just outside the range.
Yeah. Oh, and now they're not going to be able to connect with this smoke. Top side, Moon is again going to pressure out the lanes.
Mushi wants to hit this tower, though, because there's a lot of free damage. Tinker's coming in, too.
They just smoked on Fnatic.
Wow,
Tinker.
the backstab here. The line and the circle is correct here from DJ. He will spot Jabs looks to know where this is coming from.
I have an idea. He does have a blink dagger and a
Oh,
gem.
he actually doesn't know. He's just dewarding.
Oh, he immediately
hello!
goes for it. Envy, hello! There's the BKB immediately and Jabs. Looks like he's going to die quickly, but you take that death for a big smoke and a BKB charge, and meanwhile, everybody's inside of Fnatic's base.
It was the safest place to be. Yeah, so tanks a 10-second BKB charge. I'd say that's a worthy death for a support, considering the damage they got on the tier 3. Unfortunately, it's not, actually, because there's a treant. So,
Oh,
it's
two more
not
heroes.
worth a whole lot.
Gonna go up top and try and see if they can find this kill onto the Wraith King. The root is there, but the rest of the heroes are coming in. Mushi looking for an opening. They know that the counterplay could come here. And the Tinker shows up. They're starting to wail into him, but they have been able to find the Winter's Curse there onto the Tinker. Can they kill him off in time? Ninja Boogie has the swap, keeps his buddy alive, but there's Fnatic right behind him. Abed gets the kill, and now another one as they take down Ninja Boogie. Also gonna be able to find the Wraith King. It's all fallen apart after such a long time of holding on. Mineski are going to lose 4 most likely. Ice is getting ran down. They have the lift up with the Yules, the shackle to follow. That guy's gone.
It was like Fnatic. It didn't even look like a very good start to a fight, right? It's just a treant punching a Wraith King, but it's finally a forced fight. Oh, Abed, though. This would be... It's pretty much their only hope. Then you try and bring him down here. Oh, it's so close!
The BKB in the turnaround, and now they're going to TP out with one. Mushi doesn't have a blink dagger, but it doesn't matter. He's still going to be able to walk away.
Yeah, and he's
pressure
got that silver edge now, too.
So the Meteor Hammer is going to be dropped. There are creeps in the mid lane, and 3 heroes are still dead for Mineski as the pressure is being mounted.
This is such a Fnatic game for Mineski, you know. All this wave cutting, all this split pushing, this Tiny just constantly hitting waves more than heroes. That's why Fnatic are doing so well. You know, they're always catching it. They know how this works.
Exactly. It is just a tier 3 tower. They don't feel comfortable going for the racks yet, as Tinker is about to respawn. But that will give them access to shrines and some more map control.
Yeah, and they'll be able to quickly take it down. Timing from Universe in that last fight was great too, where the Meteor Hammer actually still connected here, as you can see where we kick off. So it's like, look where all the heroes are on the Radiant. They're not even that close, right? You got like 2 heroes down bottom. They all have to start TPing up here because they've all bought bots to try and handle this ridiculous push from the Tinker. They just needed any fight, even if it's not perfect. Because so far Mineski just won't commit into them, and they need to actually flex this net worth lead. But even though that swap out happened, he was still burning from the Meteor Hammer. So Abed's able to just help with that, mop him up, scythe kills, and total chase down.
I mean, that's the thing, too, is that, like, because the Huskar was wrapping around from the other side, there was no safe exit. There was no safe swap.
Yep.
Tinker was just going to die there.
And they're smoking, but there's Roche.
Oh.
So.
Yeah, that one feels kind of bad if you are Mineski. They're going to see if they can get some other pressure down. They
Having
know
deja vu here.
Against this.
This looks very familiar. All right, now Envy needs to show up and then go back into the base. We'll be right back where we started.
They're here a little bit earlier, though, this time, and they have a ward in the base also, which scouts out Envy. They placed this one down earlier. They're TPing back DJ as well as another, and maybe a toss out of the base. Doesn't look like they're willing to go for it.
Oh, DJ just pinged that ward perfectly. Yeah. Oh, they have a gem? Yeah, they have a gem.
So even though you got some damage onto the tier 3 because of the tree, it is not going to fall. And there's still tier 1s up in both of the other lanes. Also just a random Orb of Venom that was left near the Radiant tier 1 tower mid, but that's fine. As Ninja Boogie in level 15, he's gotten towards that next talent for the Wave of Terror cooldown, gives them good vision. Trying to find positives from Mineski, it's tough.
Yeah, that's for sure. I mean, the positive, they still have a Tinker and they still have racks. That's the real stuff, because that was a pretty difficult fight to make happen, right? Like, it was sort of a risky one to take. It wasn't a spectacular initiation or anything, but then the fight works out just because they have so much mobility, they have so many items. But you have to do that again. And that was kind of close. Like, that was at least on the dire side of the map, right? Yeah. But what if that fight happens on the Radiant side of the map? They probably don't even get the tier 3.
That's true. See there the comparison. Worth noting as well that Moon is about to get towards a sheep stick if he wants it. He's been hovering at 8,800 gold right now on the Tinker. Not sure if he wants to fully invest into that sheep stick. And oh no, he has so much gold. They're gonna catch him. Envy starting to take down the Tinker, but he gets away for the minute. Can he blink out of there? He's still jumping with the Winter's Curse from the Roche pit. They got him caught, and they're gonna get him killed.
2 minutes. He's going to be forced to buy back here more than likely, as they are looking for a secondary kill on the Ninja Boogie. Easy peasy. Oh, but Mushi now, this is not good.
Oh no, he jumps into it too. Multiple sentries drop down. This guy trying to run away. Dust does not work that well against Tiny, but when they drop absolutely every sentry in the world, they're going to be able to eventually find that guy. So another core dropping for Mineski after the Tinker buyback.
Tinker's the buyback. Just start shoving these waves, man. Ice is Ice up top, just throwing skeletons. That's the best thing he can do. Not a lot of options right now. As DJ going on the prowl here with his lovely talent and his gem.
And he will take out that. Oh,
yeah, Ice is Ice.
Ah, he's out of there. They almost got it with the tree hit, but was not quite in range quickly enough. Now Abed got AC, BKB. He's got himself a Lotus Orb as well. Cheese in hand. And a rare sight, but the level 25 Huskar. I feel like it's probably better to go the attack range in this one. I don't know what you think.
Yeah, probably. There's not that many. Man, the pure damage would be okay too, just because like the status resistance, or rather, just like all the strength of the Tiny with the magic resistance. He's got 34% magic resistance.
Okay.
So that's a lot more damage. 33% on the Wraith King.
Yeah, it's sort of. I mean, either way, it feels like he's incredibly strong right now, and Either he hits towers harder or hits heroes harder. Either way, both of them are probably dying, no matter what happens. 23,000 net worth lead for Fnatic. 41 minutes into this game, and Mineski just looking for a way back into it. It needs to be off the back of this. Just continued split pushing and getting waves shoved out by Tiny, who is currently debating, and he actually decides to go for the tree grab cooldown. Probably the right play. I mean, again, like, defense with toss back is good, but
Dire's bottom tower is under attack.
Killing waves is also good.
yeah, that's where it needs to be. Oh. Highlight Eye going for the Ags.
Dire's bottom tower has fallen.
Really?
He's a ways away.
Is that what he's worried about in this game? That's what I call a failsafe right there. Jeez. That is one way to control the waves.
I mean, definitely. You don't have a Tinker yourself, but you just throw around a couple of those trees, and it's an answer for Tinker if they somehow can't finish off the game.
He just goes in.
All right, Blink in, able to find him. There's a heck of a lot of damage out, and already the Tiny dead, but he does buy back, and now the Wraith King also being assaulted by Abed. Was taken level 25, but hasn't taken the Talon yet. Still deciding as he gets swapped back in another round. He's taking a lot of damage, does still have the Aegis available. No, he doesn't, but he has a cheese, and he's going to try and switch it in now, seeing if he can live through this. Actually diving the fountain at this point for Moon. He wants to kill this guy off, doesn't give a dang about anything, but now he's caught in here, and they can't get him out. They can't keep him alive. He's dead.
Universe has the refresher shard. He does have a secondary one, but Abed may have Fnatic'd a bit too hard here.
Oh my god, they have the Winter's Curse available, but they bought back on absolutely everybody from Mineski, now trying to chase forward for more. They find Pylai Die, Universe still running, but Moon, he's going to chase. He has him in his sights. There's the Hex, there's going to be the catch, and going to be the kill for dead Fnatic. What have you done?
Alright, it's still a 21k lead. It's a lot of buybacks. Despite diving the fountain, it's only going to be like a 3k gold swing in total. Ish. Still very good. Maybe slightly unnecessary, but you gotta do what you gotta do. You know, you gotta put the threat in him. Yeah, I know. There's no tree on the enemy team though.
That's fair.
That's a little shocking to not even have racks, and to be hopping in there. I'm sure people who went for the brackets, you know, time of first at Barracks Destruction, probably a little upset there if they were hoping to get that one around the 40-minute mark, because now it's gonna be a lot longer. It feels like.
Well, we also saw a rarely seen sight of a Tinker Manta style, which is pretty nifty.
Handy. Need something for the debuffs. Guess he didn't feel like Lotus.
Oh.
The old Tinker Manta can rearm it, can spam them out.
And after the team wipe, obviously you don't want to use buybacks here if you're Fnatic. It's a lot of time available, and Mineski have taken all of the tier 2 towers now and are sort of assaulting high ground, or getting ready to at least.
Yeah, if there's only like 10 more seconds on everyone, it would be so sick, because then they would be really pressured not buyback, like 10 seconds or so hitting tier 3s. But if they get wiped, they do lose, right? There are no buyback. Well, actually, what is buyback stats? I think there's like Ice is Ice maybe, but either way, we'll take a look here. If you guys missed out what was happening, you're like, oh, this game's over. I'm going to switch over to the other stream, and suddenly you're back like, why is this game over? Well, this is about it. Abed manages to find himself in the fountain. There is no toss with no target, just so you guys are aware. Yeah. This was all his own actions for the most part. And can't quite finish it off.
The other thing too there was great decrep onto the Tinker. I think if Tinker dies right there, the game is literally just over. But somehow Mineski able to fight their way back into it, as we are getting into a bit of, oh, it's actually no battle going on bottom. It's just Tinker things, so it's fine, as they did finish up this kill here, and were able to secure themselves a couple more.
Yeah, like guys mentioned, Tinker escaping, so don't worry about it too much. But the one thing is that DJ did not die in that engagement, unless I'm mistaken, which means that he still has his godlike spree, because he has a lot of gold sitting on him right now.
Oh, the shackle, it lands on the boat. They jump forward for Mushi. He's invis trying to run away, but it's not going to work, as he will eventually be ran down. BKB's coming a bit too late there.
Yeah. Definitely need to pop that one, because he has no buyback.
Abed still hasn't taken either of his talents yet.
Oh, really? He's still thinking on it?
Yeah.
And so it's actually only the Pugna who is buyback on the Dire side.
Look at these Tinker Manta style with all the skeletons. Like, they get the pressure on. This tower's taking a lot of damage here from Envy not really able to deal with it that well.
Yeah. I believe in the olden days you could Manta with the Tinker, and then you made new Mantas and they stayed alive, right? But now they don't. Like, if you make a new set of Manta, they just die. So.
And he did take
Not
the
as
attack
cool.
range. And has a DD now onto Abed.
Okay. Gonna focus on buildings. I like it.
Meanwhile, the Hex, one time. Catching the Huskar and then the D-arm afterwards. The blind comes out, so he can't really hit onto things. Going to be purged off by going for the life break, and it's going to be the first barracks going down. 47 minutes. The Hex comes out again. A lot of damage onto this guy. He still has the cheese and his BKB, though. Feeling confident with where he's at. Meteor Hammer down onto it as well. Envy finds himself the Tinker, but can't find the kill, and Ninja Boogie tries to go for the swap to stay alive, and it is in fact going to work. They have the Overgrowth. There's the Decrypt to keep themselves alive here on Ninja Boogie. A secondary stun is out, and with the Lotus Orb turnaround, they're able to focus down one. But it's still just the Tiny that's going to be coming back to life very shortly. Can they kill off Universe? He's so freaking low. With the Urn, it's not going to be enough. No, they managed to find him. Great snipe there, but they managed to catch the Tinker nonetheless. The jump in from far away. Tinker caught and going to be killed. No buyback, 2 minutes. And Fnatic finally putting the stomp onto Mineski. He has it in 17 seconds.
Okay. It has been a serious effort of patience so far from Fnatic. When he buys back, are they going to be ready for that? Disarm. Biding that time.
And Blade Mail here as well. A lot of damage as Mushi ready to go in for this one. There's the Eul Scepter lift up. Ninja Boogie saving his buddy for the moment. The buyback from Tinker comes now as well. They're trying to force down one of these heroes at the very least, and they are going to kill off Eternal Envy. In the meantime, Huskar pops his BKB, jumps in for this. The blink all the way to Fountain yet again, but he can't do this. Can they kill him off? He's dodging. He's jumping away with the Manta illusions. He can't figure out which one's real. They kill off the Huskar. Moon, you madman.
Oh, this is the most times I've seen someone die to the Fountain in a single game, that's for sure. Usually once is enough. Most people learn their lesson, but that is one thing you can do to Huskar. You're not careful with that leap. You get pulled on in, hook, line, and sinker.
And the Manta-style Tinker. It worked out. He couldn't figure out which one was real.
Yeah, this is a single target hero, and that's going to be another 6K swing. That's pretty painful. Now, only an 11K lead. All right, this has not been an exercise in patience. They've become impatient. There's still like 2 sets of racks here. They got 1 set of racks, and we'll watch the fight again.
Everybody just keeps getting so low, and then Tinker is here and just like spamming out the spells, and God, the Manta style.
Oh, how about a Manta? Give me a Manta.
Because he's rearming while that's happening too. So, I mean, obviously it's very chaotic. There's so many particles where you can't quite see the animation, I guess, but whatever the case ends up being, they're now pressuring and trying to take down Roche. Mineski are fighting their way back into this game.
This really does look like Team Fnatic playing on the Dire side. Mineski have played with them all year. They've learned a few things.
Shackle lands. As the chase is coming, Mushi looking for Universe. He hits him with the Avalanche, but not quite within range. This fight is getting very spread out and
still
chaotic.
Still a scythe here for Universe.
Oh, if they can find him, though, there's the Hex. They got it caught. They got him potentially killed if Tinker dies right now, but the Decrypt jab saving his buddy. There's going to be the Meteor Hammer laydown. Mushi needs to do absolutely everything, and then maybe even a little bit more. He tries to toss his Tinker away,
He's
but
so
it's
low.
still taking the damage. He gets the blink out. He's able to survive for the moment. Tinker doing it just barely.
Oh, now it's DJ. Pilot Eye on the run. They're being focused.
Oh, they force him down. There's going to be the Blade Mail, but it should eventually be the kill. He's coming back in a second. Can they come in another round? Because Tinker, if he wanted to, he's actually in the bottom lane, so he's not showing up for this one. They're giving up Ice 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 for dead.
Yeah, if that's all it costs to these 2 heroes, that's going to be all right, because it's been so long that the buybacks have returned, and as you can see, there isn't Aghanims on Ice Ice Ice, so he's able to survive a bit longer. But his buyback should be back soon, right? 20 seconds. Okay.
Oh, and already, Jab's buying back, realizing they need to defend against this. They want to try and force a fight around the Roche pit. Oh my God.
Not having Ice Ice really hurts him, though. 8 seconds, and he doesn't have bots, so it's going to be a while for him to get here. Mushi's trying to make time.
Yep, they jump forward. They find the Hex. The damage is coming out. They can't quite connect onto this Tinker as he's just blinking all over the map. And is able to escape again for the moment. Moon is carrying this game for them.
And they have held the Roche pit. Now they're smoking up, using that Pugna, trying to get everyone tip-top shape. The DD rune still here on Mushi, and they spot a power shot. They know DJ's in the area. They scan to the right. They know they've gone left.
DD on Tiny as well. This Roche could fall quickly, but maybe Heroes even faster if they can get in the duration. But it looks like they won't find anybody yet. So DD will expire.
Just no vision in the area. Creeping up on Envy.
Oh, he pops the BKB immediately, and now it's time to run. But if they can bait out and wait out this BKB, you can potentially fight afterwards.
Silver Edge, possibly here. Onto Abed.
They disarm him. He's jumping forward. You can't take that one off. He's still stuck there doing absolutely nothing. They're able to force the Tinker away. He's living, but DJ able to find the Tinker. Another Decrep saving their buddy. He's hexed, but he's living everything for Moon. Can they keep him alive? The Overgrowth as well. He's mantaing it away, trying to survive. Moon decrept again, still able to live. Manta's
the Manta!
He's living! What are you doing to me, baby? Fnatic, you can't finish this man off.
Unbelievable. This Manta is paying off so well instead of the Lotus Orb here for the disarm. Some added utility here. The extra stats, double digits over and over. And Moon, if there's anything that goes well with the Manta, baby, it's a Radiance. So it's time.
Are you kidding me? Tinker Manta
Send him out, baby. Keep the game alive. Where's my Octarine core? I mean, rearm. Come on. Who needs that? No, for... Unbelievable stuff here. I can't not believe Jazz has been playing so well in support Pugna. It's hard to point it out in these fights just how incredible he is with these decreps every time. We try to. And with these life drains too. I can't believe he's surviving.
And again, you think about how this net worth graph has changed. It's just been clawing their way back into this one from over 20,000 net worth a lead, and now
the ankle biters are in there. They're after Roche.
They're trying to take this down. And with no tree for 40 seconds still, like, a large part of their team fight.
Oh, Universe isn't close enough. He's the one who has to make this play. Oh, but they don't know where he is. There's still no vision in that area. They have to respect the winner's curse.
Hiding out for the moment. They do still have Life Break available, even though it's a 78% win percentage for Fnatic.
Are they going to let this go? They're not going to fight this.
It's coming up, Mineski. They keep making the plays. They give it over to Mushi. All of the lanes are pressured out because of this Tinker Manta Radiance.
Oh, is that a fat finger?
It happens. You know it happens. They're still keeping their spirits high, even in the most stressful of times. Only a 4,000 gold lead.
Yeah, these are the least stressful games when you were this far behind, but yeah, watching that initiation. They spot Envy, the quick BKB, well played by him, but then constantly waiting here with Moon. Hoping to see when that Huskar comes in. How about Ice's Ice with the instant disarm before the BKB can
down
pop?
Bottom, though.
Oh, no. Oh, no. After all these saves, is this finally it?
They didn't
Moon.
find him.
It's been so long, though. Oh, he doesn't have the gold either, though.
Oh, no.
But think about what he's done for his team. I mean, they have an Aegis, they have a Cheese, they have a Refresher Shard. It's a much closer game, and all of the net worth is no longer just tied up straight up in this Tinker.
Right. Exactly. They've been able to catch up on those other heroes, and importantly also catch up in levels. So they've actually got a lot of these talents that can change the way the game is played. And you look in that last fight, the way that you kept the Tinker alive was by virtue of like the decreps, the swaps, just everything for my Tinker. And when he's alone out there pushing waves, that's not the case anymore.
I am a little worried this might be the end of it. It's tough. This is an extremely hard fight. Simply because how much of that attention was on Moon, right? Like, you see like how close these fights are and how many kills they're getting, but it's because they have a focal point for Fnatic and they just can't bear to ignore it. In this case, there's nothing stopping them.
I mean, let's be real, though. Even if you get Mega'd right now, I don't think Mineski are leaving this game.
Yeah, and plus
Swap
the way...
in. Find him. Ava toss. Can they burst this guy? A second toss. He's got a couple of them, but there's the Winter's Curse to interrupt it. They can't quite kill off Ninja Boogie because he's in range of the Winter's Curse. Abed, switch up there. Disarm. Caught. Yet again, they're not really doing that much damage on Fnatic here.
Yeah, but the buildings are still there, and they're going to lose Ninja Boogie. Everyone's retreating to the well, and they're going to say, all right, that Rex is gone. Let it go.
Yeah, I think you just need to give them all up here at this point, potentially. And Fnatic...
They're just smoking right for the racks. They're saying, go, 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 go. 40 seconds.
They know what's coming. Wave push is not quite in position. They need the fountain to defeat the Huskar.
That is true. It has been his arch rival. He only has 2 deaths. No one on the side of Mineski has truly killed him.
Wraith Fire Blast gets thrown back at Abed as they continue to just barrel forward here, taking it down the building. Tinker back up 12 seconds if they can wait that long. Avatos from Mushi trying to kill off that Winter Wyvern. Not quite there as of yet, though. Jabs the decrep, keeps him alive.
They might be able to hold here. Tinker coming back. Abed might finally find a death.
Chase forward for more. He's disarmed. He's caught. Oh, Mushi. It's a scary thing to walk out there and see if you can chase, and might just count their lucky stars right now that they only lost the one lane of barracks in the tier 3 tower.
Yeah, that's not that pricey a cost. It ends up being about a 6k gold increase. They were only up by about 6 before the fight, and now creeping back up to 13. And what about our little friendly items here? We still have the Refresher Shard on the Wraith King, but no cheese remaining.
Man, what a game. Absolutely insane coming out from all these guys. And I'm wondering too, like, again, you've got like these big items that are out there, a Silver Edge, the Butterfly on the Tiny, still holding on also to that Aegis. It's going to be reclaimed in about a minute. I mean, is there anything that you can really do with that at all? They still haven't been able to take a tier 3 tower.
Well, they're going to try another smoke play. I think trying to get aggressive with this best opportunity that you have, really.
The Refresher Shard is still on Ice Ice Ice.
TPing in very early with the Tinker. Maybe hoping this will be a bait play. And someone will blink too aggressively.
Oh, and indeed they do. They found themselves the Huskar. He's hexed, but the Cold Embrace keeping him alive. Envy jumps forward with the BKB. And they take him down after the fact. There's
really
the
spread.
toss, and it looks like they've been able to find him.
Okay, they got Envy, but now back in the mid.
Oh, a heck of a lot of damage there. Wraith King is falling down low with the Blade Mail, but I think this is a fine hero. Oh, okay, Hex with the Lotus Orb, a little bit scary. Any more follow-up, he gets the BKB off, and that's where things start to fall apart a little bit. Mamushi gets his BKB out as well. Universe living inside of that Cold Embrace. The Dagon on top of the Huskar. Isn't enough damage, though. DJ jumps in, focuses off, and keeps jabs off of him.
All right, Moon back in, though. Just TPing through, and now they're after Abed.
They got him caught. That's the Hex. He's in trouble. They have a second round of it. He's getting low on mana, but should have enough to get the Hex off over and over again. And Abed eventually going to drop.
And now Universe even too. Nearby has lots of gold.
What's
no real buyback problems.
This is like save your buddy syndrome going on here. And, well, they are going to be able to keep Universe alive for the moment, but with the Hex and the chase down, that's 3 dead.
Yeah, and no buyback here for Envy. Still has a cooldown of 1:20, and similarly for DJ, around that same point.
Again, being able to wait out that Tinker death and then also keep the lanes pushed out simultaneously, it's only a 4,000 gold lead. Gold doesn't matter at this point. The bigger thing is the buybacks. Mineski are in a position to push down a lane, possibly.
Yeah, that was a great swap to start that fight off, too.
Man. 3,000 gold lead for Fnatic. And they need to hold on to high ground at this point.
Yeah, this is the time for them to just kind of like regroup and fix up all of their lanes, because they were having some problems. Obviously, when you lose a full set of racks and your Tinker's been dead so long, finally all the waves push out and they need to reassert some dominance. So that just means that they won't be able to pressure in too hard. They're onto the base now, but that'll force the buyback from the Wyvern. They need to be a bit cautious. They know that curse is up.
Shackle shot. There's the Winter's Curse. Doesn't last that long, though.
Yeah, with the stun being there.
The Tiny. A little unfortunate. Pylai Die also doesn't really have a great answer. And the first tier 3 tower taken by Mineski. And also their first gold lead in a very long time. Blink in.
I can't believe it. They've actually shifted that.
It's nuts.
And he still has the Refresher Shard. I'm thinking he probably doesn't have to use it here. He will switch it in the backpack, though, if it'll be a benefit to his team. Pulled out. Tinker thought about coming in, but he didn't complete it.
Ninja Boogie has a swap still if he wants to use it there. But it looks like they are just going to give up the Wraith King for now.
Just standing, swagging. Not even going to throw it. There it is. Throw that stun.
Take that.
Okay, has buyback. Oh, he lost the gem, though.
What a game.
That's a bit unfortunate.
Yeah.
5,900 Pugna Wraith. Wow, this guy. 59 minutes. The Envy Classic.
Oh, 59 minutes for Pugna Wraith buyback. Is that what that is?
Yeah, looks that way. So they have buyback. He always... You know Envy knows if you have buyback or not. Don't ever question if he knows. He always knows. He writes them all.
That's great. The captain. We do have Vengeful Spirit trying to build towards an Aghanim Scepter now. Has the Vengeance Aura damage. So good with the Tiny. Look at it right now. 45% bonus damage.
He's 61 minutes in. Yeah, that's pretty rough for Ninja Boogie, eh? Just level 21. Yeah. Hard game. Speaking of levels, Pilot Eye almost to the 25.
Hey.
He could actually go for the Eyes Overgrowth. He probably will. The AoE Living Armor. And needs to work on creep waves. Come on, Ice Frog. Hear me out. How obnoxiously fun would that be versus a Tinker if you were playing? It's like, I can do it too. And save my little creeps.
I mean, to be honest, though, it's even great with the heroes. But, yeah, I kind of am with you that... Yeah, I mean, he needs to get into the Aghanim Scepter first, of course. But nonetheless... Oh, it's the Overgrowth, just the basic spell as well, but yeah.
Yeah, that's good.
That's a big old range. Yeah, I have not seen Tree at 25. It's just not done. Not an often thing. They have the Nether Ward damage also for the Pugna.
Yeah, he's gone full Nether Ward. Really good against the Necrophos, especially these BKBs. So far down now.
Tinker, BKB in the backpack, another game changer. We've seen him be defensive already with the Manta, but now having another item to help him through that. And
yeah, Moon's just been incredible this game. I mean, he's got a 2100 gold surplus as well, so if he spots something else for his build, maybe he wants to start swapping out this Radiance and Manta. I don't know what he's going to do. You know, there's no point predicting his stuff, but maybe he sees the opportunity for like something like a nullifier or something.
Right.
Those kind of options are always going to be available because he just has such a stupid amount of gold. I hope he's buying the wards.
he should be, right?
Better be.
I mean, at this point, like, you really don't need... I mean, you can always use more stuff. A refresher also for Envy at this point on the Necrophos has gone into the Death Pulse cooldown. Oh, mid lane. The blink away. Highlight die. They have a lot of Sentry Wards down right here, and I think he walked right through one of them. Ooh, she wasn't able to make use of that, as a lot of heroes mid for Fnatic as well. Everybody getting ready to battle around the Roche Pit.
Yeah, last time a fight happened in that mid lane didn't go too well for Fnatic, but it won't kick off this time. And merely a minute 10 now.
Yeah, it is also Winter Wyvern, 4 minutes before Universe will have buyback again. Has made great use of the Blink Sheep Stick. Has the Splinter Blast 2-second stun on the level 25 talent.
Interesting considering like how spec'd he is for the Winter's Curse, right?
Yeah.
And he also had to sell his Meteor Hammer, which makes sense because you don't want to be using it this late in the game.
Ice just walks into Abed and disarmed the Halberd. It's pretty good stuff. They swap him back in further forward. He's Hex. He's stunned. He's taking a lot of damage. The Winter's Curse is there, not really doing anything at all. And they're going to be able to almost take him down. Then second toss. Can they kill off this Huskar? He's so freaking hard to kill.
So greedy with his BKB.
They're actually giving him a ton more HP. They're trying to kill him off with the Pugna illusion thing, but he gets the BKB off in the turnaround. Ninja Boogie as well as Mushi in trouble. They buy back with several, but they manage to kill off that Tiny.
How does he fly so far with stones like that dragging him down? He did not pop that BKB for what felt like forever. He had so many opportunities into the chainstun, the Hex. And then finally he gets a moment to go for it.
Now, Tinker now also going to go for another round of hexing and everything that they can. Can they kill off this Huskar, though? He's the big problem, and now they managed to find a Hex onto the Tinker himself. The Decrep again, trying to save their buddy. There's the Manta Style, the turnaround Hex as well. Tries to get the rearm and see if he can get the Manta and jump away, but it's not happening. Tinker is still living through all of this. Mushi triple kill came to save the day. Oh my god.
Oh, hunting after DJ, but he's just a little bit too mobile. Even just pops his BKB just in case. Get himself out of there. Oh, that fight looked so good. It looked like they spent everything on this Huskar, but at this point, it's just the cooldowns, the spells, they just keep on coming. And Fnatic did not have enough left in the tank to actually win that engagement. But it was 3 buybacks for the Dire side, so now it just comes down to like resource management, buyback management. However, the buybacks for the Radiant are very costly because it's a buyback there for our Huskar. And our Tinker, he's still remaining with his.
I don't know how he didn't die in that. There were 3 heroes surrounding him, like right next to him, and he still just was not going down. And we talked about this, as you said, the Universe, no buyback on this Winter Wyvern, who's been the saving grace more often than not. Because the big thing that we've seen is the ability for Fnatic to get the, or rather the ability of Mineski to isolate the Huskar. And then it's been the follow-up of Universe that saves him from getting taken down. I don't know if they can do that this time around.
Well, it's also Roche, right? They're going to know the buyback on the Winter Wyvern, so you can see a ping there from the Pugna like, okay, we really want Roche. So scout ahead, try and find a quick pick. If we don't get one, then Roche it is. They have a gem on the Vengeful Spirit, who is close to DJ.
Highlight die. There's the force, though. Jump forward, Ava, toss back.
Oh,
Maybe
can't
no,
get
he
it.
missed it. Oh, that one hurts.
But they should be able to just go Roche. Ooh, who gets the Arcane Rune? Mr. Tinker? Come fight us? I believe so.
That's a for sure.
Now that's nasty.
So another round of Aegis Cheese Refresher. They still have their Refresher Shard from last time. Meanwhile, Wind Ranger. Oh,
Swap
the
in?
swap in. They got
That's
him
Envy.
caught. Envy's dead. He doesn't have buyback. They're also caught themselves pile die. Tree's gone too.
There's no buybacks. DJ's the only one holding it right now.
This is a huge problem, and Mineski in a position where after they take down Roche, they could just run down mid.
Yep, just guaranteeing right now. I'm sure it's tempting to just leave the pit altogether, but if you guys didn't notice, Ice, he never spent that refresher shard.
Yeah.
So what's better than one refresher shard? But no, you have to hand it off somebody else. They do share cooldowns. Got some issues there. So passes it off to Mushi. Unfortunately, they really have pretty terrible refresher shard heroes.
Yeah.
Compared to the ones on the Radiant side. So Mushi will basically just be using it for his BKB.
All right, you got to be so careful at this point if you're the Huskar. There's so few safe heroes that are left in this game. There's a nullifier there, so you can't pop your BKB potentially. Winter's Curse could come out.
Universe has done a lot in his life, but I don't know if he can hold this. This will be one of the most incredible defenses with the heroes they have. Now, the benefits is there's so many buildings left, so they just need to chip, 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 and delay as much as possible. Use every cooldown, every single hex, and perhaps Mineski will wind up in the fountain. You never know.
They're continuing to go, though, from tower to tower. 50 seconds on the sideline still as Fnatic just trying to hold out in this game.
All right.
Number 1. Is this really just game number 1? Oh, God.
Glyph has gone down. They're still just cleaning up barracks, though. They're not going for the tier 4s, not going straight for throne, even with the 30 seconds.
They could have done that.
It's so tough in these situations, though, because you're never quite sure about the buybacks, maybe, if you didn't write it down. And Mega Creeps, they don't have the same answers that you do.
That's true enough. The big swap, but the Lotus Orb play nicely done there by Abed, saving his Winter Wyvern. And, well, there's going to be this last tier 3 tower going down. Mineski in a position to potentially close out this game.
Don't lose focus now. Get the buildings.
Nullifier into both of them. They're tempting fate. Mushi, he's getting jumped on. Does still have the Aegis. He also has a Silver Edge when he comes out.
DJ in the back line.
He's already there.
He's
DJ,
down.
He's caught. He's killed. He has the buyback, though. Can they take down any more of these heroes? Universe very low, but not dead yet. They jump forward with Envy, wanting to find a kill with the Reaper Sight, but they can't find it on anybody.
The building's actually still alive. They need to clean this up. There is a Treant. Finish the building.
Coming forward. They didn't take it down
hexed.
yet. He's hexed him. He's caught him. Jazz
Ice,
tries to
he's
kill him.
stunned.
Envy. He makes it happen yet again.
All right, surely this is it.
Envy ends up going down. They find themselves the Pugna. He is eventually going to die, but with the Aghanim Scepter there on the Wraith King, they're going to be able to secure themselves the last round of buildings, and Tinker's back in the well regardless. So Mineski, finally, they've been able to claw their way back into this one, as this is going to be another reincarnation coming out for Ice Ice Ice. It was over 20,000 net worth lead for Fnatic, but now it's 31,000 into the favor of Mineski.
Oh, man, if there was ever a time where they needed a Treant Aghanim Scepter, it's going to be now. Because they are faced with the Megas, and it's a long ways away. They do not have a Tinker on their team. They don't have the best AoE in general. I mean, you got a Maelstrom Wind Ranger. I guess the core Wyvern kind of helps, but Splinter Blast can only do so much.
I mean, if there's one thing, at least you're going to have more targets to stun with your Splinter Blast because there's going to be creeps in your base. Game is hard.
Positive thinking.
That's right. Oh, man, and just look at that graph, the drop-off. I mean,
The graph, the buybacks. I mean, Tinker, Wraith King, only ones in the game that have it. Everybody 25 except Ninja Boogie. He's slowly getting there.
What a game. And buyback status for the Dire. They do only have it on Tinker and Wraith King. So I would imagine that we're going to see Mineski wait it out for the other 3 heroes since it's only a minute and a half away. And I mean, on the one hand, you do still have Fnatic that are keeping control of these creep waves fairly well.
For now.
For now.
Once these Dire heroes all start spawning, and oh, the Aghanim Scepter purchased by Ninja Boogie. You know, I had questions about this, and I was like, this won't become relevant because when am I going to see a Wraith King and Avenge in a super late game? But I want to see all these interactions between her illusions and then Wraith King illusions and then her Aghanim Scepter. I don't know in what order this thing goes.
Yeah.
But I look forward to it. So Ninja Boogie, why don't you show us?
It is the AoE Living Armor that the tree took also.
Oh,
Everybody level 25 at this point. Venge, Magic Missile, Pearson, Spell Immunity. All good things on these heroes as they are maxed out 71 minutes into this. It's the longest game so far, I believe, at the TI group stages. Unless there's been something happening in one of the other ones
That's true. Who
next to
knows
us.
what's going on over there.
they get ready to walk down a lane. Still another couple of minutes until the buybacks are back. Only a couple of seconds, really.
Yeah. Everyone just kind of crowded in here, and I don't know how Fnatic fight their way out of this base. It is going to be so difficult. All they can really hope for is Mineski making mistakes and trying to close out the game, going for buybacks that turn into diebacks, and suddenly there's a 5-man rush down mid. Those are your victories versus Mega Creeps for the most part. Unless you have this Medusa or this Tinker, or someone that can handle these waves, an Ember Spirit, they're not well equipped for this in the slightest.
And I mean, what a storyline, too, that Moon able to do this, pull the game back by having to go Manta Radiance on a Tinker. Like, it's just unbelievable that his entire team able to keep him alive throughout all those engagements.
And I mean, really, the surprise play, the trick play of bringing the Fountain into the game off the bench, tagging it in at the most important moment to deal with this Huskar, that was the true gem of the Mineski strats, I would say.
I would say so, too.
No one saw that coming.
You know, one other thing that we should mention about that Aghanim Scepter with Ninja Boogies, it's also the cooldown on swap, down to just 10 seconds.
Yep. Swap, swap, swap.
Unbelievable initiation, and then on top of that, the illusion that gets created afterwards as...
Oh, he can reach it, Envy. Oh,
Potential
okay, Envy just
assault.
blinks in. Says, all right, go ahead.
A lot of damage out there. They find the stun onto the Huskar, take down Envy right at the get-go. No buyback for this guy at all. Huskar also going to be isolated, going to be swapped back in, going to get the BKB off before the Nullifier is able to connect onto him. He needs to take down any of these heroes at all. Moon finally starting to fall down low, but it does look like finally Huskar will fall. He buys back. They need him alive if they want any hope at all of staying in this one, as that is going to be the first death of the Wraith King. Wraith Fire Blast gets thrown out by absolutely everybody. They're still holding on for the moment. These buildings getting tree armored up. But Fnatic don't really have a great answer. There's the jump forward. They take down Jabs. Nice play by Fnatic, holding on for the moment as well as they try and kill off Pylai Die. A power shot through. DJ doing what he can. They're losing a couple of these heroes, but Wraith King is there as well.
Pylai Die is just throwing these heals onto the tower as he goes down. Glyph now used. Tinker Manta's punching buildings. This game has reached full chaos mode.
They're just hoping to hold on a little bit longer, but the first of the tier 4s is
They're
going to fall.
circling the tower.
The power shot, they managed to kill off the Vengeful Spirit. TJ somehow up there at the top, but they do have the illusion. Shackle not quite going to land as Tinker was a little bit late in blinking forward for that one, and Abed somehow still holding on. They're in this game, if only by a sliver, but it might only be a couple more seconds.
Envy's going to try the distraction tactics again here.
They have the Tinker? They killed off? No, okay,
Pugna's
that was the
dead.
That was the Pugna.
That was a buyback. These are those diebacks you need.
The Ancient is still alive. Abed, he's chasing down this Wraith King, and they're able to get the mute, but Abed finds the kill. All of Fnatic is back alive again. This is starting to get really scary for them as they find the Reaper Scythe and the kill.
How long was he dead for?
They
still
hold.
gets the kill.
Fnatic hold.
It was costly. They lost both tier 4s. I mean, it cost a Pugna buyback, sure. But I don't know if they can get back outside their base to do anything because they need to go really deep to catch Moon. You know, he's barely going to like go past the river, honestly, at this point.
Yeah. But if there was a way, this would be how it starts. DJ has to be on the hunt. This is what he does now at this point forward.
As you can see here, that Nether Ward did about 1,799 magical damage to the Necrophos because he was dead for like 20 seconds at that point, and suddenly he kills Envy. A little bit rough considering that Ice was probably dead anyway, but that's life.
I can't believe this game is still going on. Thought it's been over like 4 separate times.
Yeah, unfortunately.
Oh my God, look at DJ. He is going into the fountain right now, prepping for the Tinker. Are you kidding me? Do they have a scan? They do have a scan available. He's waiting for him to come back in here. Oh my God, if DJ could pull this off.
I'm not sure what his end goal is.
I guess hexing him or something? No, he doesn't have a hex. The hex into kill?
I don't think so. A bold play, Cotton, but I'm not so sure. Just getting some aggressive wards down.
In their fountain?
I mean, that's what he's doing.
Yeah, I guess so. He just ran the whole length of the map. You got to take that.
Oh, now we're talking. Okay, now I see.
That's a really good kill. If they can take down this Vengeful Spirit, the Hex is there. And that will be a dead hero. Mushi shows up.
Oh, there's a lot of TPs coming through. Dust will not connect. No blink first.
DJ single-handedly holding on to this game.
That was at the best.
Abed feeling a little bit of excitement as well about the plays that are being made here by his buddy Mr. DJ. God, and they're holding on inside of their base. They need to get, they have eyes in the forest down as well now through Tree and Protector.
Oh, he actually got it?
He got his Ags.
Wow. Pie-light eye.
So
what
if
a
they
legend.
can find this Tinker. I actually can't believe I'm saying this, but I feel like there's a way that Fnatic could win this. If they can find and kill this Tinker.
All right, but right now, Pugna's the only one missing buyback.
Right.
That's the major problem. They're going to kill this Roche, they're going to go into the base, and they're probably going to lose. DJ, looks like he'll be okay.
They still have this Venge illusion that can just walk around the entire time.
They need some serious, like, Sam Fisher tactics going on right now. Like, complete Splinter Cell, super sneaky, DJ and Universe finding solo kills like they did in the Eventual Spirit. That's their best hope.
Yeah. Well, and I guess then for Mineski, the only thing they really need to do is make sure they're staying together.
Yeah, this Venge is hilarious.
It's really cool, because you mainly just need it for, like, the swap defensive stuff, or I guess aggressive, and it's going to be alive until Venge is back up. Bottom lane, Moon is there. They have the eyes in the forest for him. They're able to catch him. He's rooted. He's in trouble. They brought absolutely everybody, and that's dead for 145 seconds. He does have buyback.
Now, that's the question. Do you pop it instantly, or do you wait?
A lot of questions. I don't have the answer.
Because if you pop it instantly, you feel better fighting Roche. But if you save it, then you can just wait to time it up with your Pugna, and then you're both going to have buyback. But that also means you're going to allow the buybacks to come back for the side of Fnatic.
Swap in. They found DJ. He's hexed through the spell immunity, and that is the strength of that talent.
Oh, that's a big kill. Now Abed. Oh, DJ, you might want to buy back here. This looks like a real fight.
They're looking for it now. They have the opening already onto Pugna. A lot of damage coming in. Abed able to catch him. He's stunned. He's caught for the moment.
Moon
The Tinker
commits.
does buy back. If this fight goes poorly for Mineski, they potentially could lose it, but they lost Abed. 2 minutes. He's away, but they do take down the bench. Yet again, swap back in onto Envy. Mushi's still alive for the moment as well, but he has very little mana here, and they have been able to find that follow-up Hex, but they find themselves yet another kill. Wyvern dead for 2 minutes, buys back immediately as well.
The synergy there. You become the Wraith first, and then the Wraith ends, and then you become your Vengeful Spirit. You can't kill it instantaneously, and then it just kind of ends up living.
Yeah. That's pretty nuts. But he is dead now, and those two heroes for a fairly long time.
Is he dead, though?
All right, that's fair
He's
enough.
running around the map, and he's wave of tearing this Roche. So I'm going to have to
really
disagree
dead.
here.
He also has a Moon Shard.
Now, what I did miss is if this dies. I don't think it works. But if this died and became a Wraith, that would be really cool. But I'm pretty sure in the last fight it did not.
Okay.
Because, you know, it is an illusion,
Yeah.
sadly. A cool illusion, but an illusion nonetheless.
A very cool illusion. All right, DJ is going back into the base
All right,
again.
so where's the Universe? He's back in the base. He is cursed in 4 seconds.
They're anticipating the Tinker is going to be back here.
Oh, he's in there.
Oh,
They're
but
going for
spotted-
it.
They spotted him.
Oh.
They spotted the Wind
Oh,
Ranger.
yeah, that's a problem.
Yeah, you need to get out of here, DJ. There's the TP.
Wow, it almost worked, too, with the scan and everything. Oh, no,
Yeah.
they didn't scan it. Okay.
Mushi looking for another opening down here. He picks up the regen rune. These eyes in the forest are really problematic for Tinker, though. If you stand on top of them again, and, you know, that fight, they're able to secure themselves the Aegis, but Tinker now does not have buyback.
It's true. But he has the Aegis.
Yeah, that's fair.
And they're having a hard enough time just killing him the first time anyway.
Do they have bots level 2 on most of the other heroes?
I believe. 1 for most of them.
Yeah. Well, again, it's Pylai Dai trying to get whatever vision he can across the map.
Can't believe there's a 23k lead for the Dire. That is so wild. Orchid picked up here, so eventual Bloodthorn it looks like for Isis Ice.
Trying to get in towards it. Abed has been every type of disabled this game.
They're lurking in here. The swap back.
Oh, and they're able to find one. That's a dead Abed. He
Instant.
buys back immediately. Good play there. DJ also trying to focus down one. That's the Pugna, but isn't going to get caught. And now they also have the jump in.
Look at this
Ice,
Nether
ice,
Ward.
ice. He's fine here for the moment.
Tased down. The Nether Ward just killed DJ. Oh!
Oh no! Out of position, and he's dead now. And Envy also going to get brought down. They have the Winter's Curse, but this isn't going to be nearly enough. It's still going to come back as Illusion afterwards. They're not even going to get the kill. The Decrep is not going to be there. Moon, with absolutely every item in the game, is going to carry him one last time as they focus down the throne here. Ninja Boogie just going to punch away at Abed. They have another magic missile to stun him up through it, and this should be the end of the game. Mineski clawed back from the clutches of defeat and able to clinch it.
I mean, I think that says it well enough. I mean, disaster. Ladies and gentlemen, Mineski, unbelievable play. Honestly, Fnatic, they had that patience, right? Where they're going and it's kind of like you don't want to rush too hard. You want to be like a little bit careful.
Yeah.
But was it too careful, or was it just like unbelievable? What a pick too from Mineski to come up with that 10th pick on the Tinker. I mean, ridiculous stuff. They saw an opportunity. They saw where Moon could have a hell of a game, and it wasn't just the fact like the lack of counters, but the supporting cast behind him too. Defensive swaps, defensive heals, defensive decreps.
Right.
All of that played in combination with Moon, and it felt like to start like Mushi and Ice 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 having a bit of a rough go. They just played Wave Killer for the first 25 minutes of the game, throwing their bodies, rolling around in the dirt of the bottom lane as people just came to slay them.
Yeah.
And it worked out.
One after the other after the other. And I can't believe that's just game number 1, too. That's the craziest thing. But we are going to head off to a quick break as we get ready to hop into this. Game number 2, right around the corner, ladies and gentlemen, Mineski take game number 1 in fabulous fashion. We'll be right back with them versus Fnatic. See you guys in a few. second game of the second round.
Is that it?
That's it. We just had
That's it,
3
eh?
games
Oh my
today.
goodness. Well, that's good. I would love this day to go on for as long as possible because it's day 2 of the International. The group stages are continuing, and these teams are continuing to battle it out. 2 teams from Southeast Asia coming all the way to Vancouver, Canada to play some Dota.
Your home city.
God love it. Home country.
I mean, I just wanted to make a joke. It's not really his home city, but he's from this place. Which
This
means
place, this land.
if there's
Yes.
any complaints at all from
Yeah.
any of the players, blame this guy.
All right. Sounds
That's what I'm
good.
gonna say.
Whole country. My responsibility.
We do already have a draft, so we can hop into that one as Mineski versus Fnatic are going to square off again. It is Enchantress Band, first overall, as well as the Mirana. Now, just take a moment, because I feel like when you play a game like that in Dota 2 where it goes that long and you had this much of a lead, it's got to affect you going into game number 2, right?
Yeah, I would say certainly. Yeah, you all done that. You know, take a walk, guys. This was one of the longer breaks between games that we've had so far at the tournament, and for good reason, because that was the longest game that we've seen. And both teams probably a little bit of a breather there. An hour and 21 minutes and 52 seconds if you missed it. It was a barn burner.
Every second of it.
And it was a hell of a performance there from Moon on the Tinker. He was loving it.
Yeah. I think that was probably the most impressive thing, particularly considering where his game was at, like, the 10-minute mark. You know what I'm talking about?
Yep.
Like, he was struggling to get a soul ring up in the top lane because he had to abandon it against this Huskar that was just owning him. And then to come back and be able to get into... eventually, it took every conceivable item build possible down to a Radiance Manta to push out the side lanes for him.
One thing I liked is that it kind of showed the power of the Wraith King too, because this idea of Wraith King being there for like really early picks and being flexible in the lanes, but flexible in the playstyle too. Like the way Ice was able to push waves like that, that's not something the hero used to be able to do.
Right.
But with the skeletons, you can just kind of pop up somewhere, throw down some skeletons, kill the wave, and run away into the jungle very quickly. And all that backstabbing and wave cutting did so much for Moon to actually get back into that one.
And it's something that we saw Tiny do previously as well. And, Mushu was able to play it quite well. I think that he quietly had a very, very good game for himself. There were a couple times where it was like, oh, what's going on there? But by and large, he was, the sort of big damage dealer that they needed him to be.
Yeah, he did a lot to control up Envy too. Like all that magic burst. Just fully controlling him and... Geez, speaking of magic damage, Jabs ended up being the big hero in that game. Almost 80k damage. He had the highest damage of the game, more than the Tinker.
What?
This was very absurd.
What? Oh, the Nether Ward. That's probably a lot of what it was. That's crazy.
Okay.
Well, Fnatic feel comfortable with this. I mean, Universe played a fabulous Winter Wyvern.
Yeah, I think the nature of the hero, it felt a lot like the VP Shadow Demon, where like it's kind of cool. The Wyvern had a better start than the Shadow Demon did for sure, but then it gets to the point of just like, that's why this hero is a support, kind of, right? Like, items just don't scale that well. Outside of mobility, items just don't do that much for this hero, right? You can get yourself a Scythe, but there's so many other heroes you can do the same stuff on, but you can also scale in other ways, like through your damage, or maybe like Aghanim Scepters that greatly increase the spells. Not really a thing for Wyvern. The Eggs is pretty poor, but we're going to switch it up a little bit here, so Necrophos will be heading over to the side of Team Mineski.
Okay. So yeah, it is a little bit of a departure from what we had before. And they are going to take the Venge.
Why they want that instead of the Tiny?
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe they're saying, okay, they're anticipating this being the Universe hero, but I don't know if that's like is what it has to be. You could definitely throw this on Pylai Die.
Yeah, interesting. I think Tiny for Fnatic here looks pretty good. You can see how it was very frustrating to deal with as a Necrophos in the last game. Envy had the most deaths, I think, or at least at one point. For the vast majority of the game, he definitely had the most deaths. But it was just because he kept getting comboed down. Like, his whole role was essentially blink in, and then he would just kind of die and provide vision with Shiva's Guard.
Wow.
Straight up. So this was not banned in the second phase in the last game. And they're going to opt for it that fast. Maybe because with Necrophos and Venge, they don't want to leave it in the pool because Mineski have the next pick out, right? So they'd have to ban it, but instead they want to play it versus this Necrophos strat. Okay, interesting.
This is what worked for them really well in the previous series yesterday. But the thing about it is we saw in the last game, they kind of struggled to take high ground against Mineski. Maybe you just think, all right, we're just going to ban out the Tinker this time around?
Yeah, they go for the Wraith King instead, as it was...
Well, I meant like as a last ban or something.
Yeah, for sure. But I think... they have 10th pick, but I mean, you could still Tinker second phase would be okay. But they need to focus the Brood down too, I'm sure. So that'll be the other ban in this phase for Fnatic. and Mineski can target one of these other obnoxious Drow plus heroes. Oh, they take the Brew instead. It's a pretty good counter to the Broodmother.
So is it worth it just taking a Broodmother now?
As Mineski, I think it's all right. I like it.
Ice?
Yeah, he's very good on the hero. One of the best people at scouting with the spiders.
I mean, they're definitely at least thinking about it,
Yep.
if nothing else.
10 seconds.
I don't know if you need to all in on something like that. The other option is that you can go something like a.
Now, do you ban DJ Windranger? Tell me you ban DJ Windranger right now, because they already have the Drow. The guy is absurd. Surely that's the ban here.
Yeah, I can't think of anything else that really is as scary as that. I mean, maybe they're worried that they would need more team fight, and then he might pick something like
maybe
an Earth Spirit.
Maybe Storm. Yeah, like that would be the only thing. I feel like with the Wyvern, they already have so much team fight. So like, it just looks like a primo Windranger game for me. Like Necrophos, the Magic Burst.
They like those combo together a lot too, because then you have like a pretty easy shackle setup.
Mineski's turn.
They go for the Pugna instead.
Okay.
Jabs is a pretty mean Windranger. Curious. I don't think they'll pick the Brood here because they're not worried about Fnatic taking it, so they can just kind of wait out and see if it still looks good going to the next pick. Maybe Fnatic will opt for one of these heroes that can lane up against it, but heroes that lane well against Brood in general don't do well don't synergize well with Drow, right?
10 seconds.
There is still the Tiny in the pool. So if they
That is
did
true.
that, they could sort of have, another hero that isn't necessarily great synergy with Drow, but at least it's like that pick off and push out side waves.
And a hero they're very comfortable with too.
Yeah. That would probably mean it would need to be Abed on it.
Yep, for sure. But yeah, definitely expecting the DJ Windranger then. So Mineski, what do you got? What is it that was so important for you? Is it Broodmother? In terms of the heroes they've been successful with so far, leading, they haven't done an opener like this yet, but the Wraithing's been banned out. Now the Pugna's been removed from themselves. There's still the Ice hero likely in the pool. And with the Wraith King being gone, this is where we have seen him go back to his old favorites, like the Tide, the Timber, or the Pango. And Pango and Timber both look pretty fun against Drow strats. Even Tide's okay versus Drow strats. But they will take the Tiny for themselves, and that's probably just going to be his hero.
Okay. And now
that makes Brood even better.
Yeah, I think that's quite strong. Because like you said, it's not like Fnatic are going to take the Brood themselves. So you can potentially just run. What do you want to take as a Brood counter? I mean, you can still just take the DJ hero.
10 seconds remaining.
Take a Windranger.
5 seconds.
Yeah, I
have
think they're going
another-
to take the Windranger. I think they're just going to bank on Mineski, maybe just not playing the Brood.
Yeah.
And if they do, then they'll settle it with their other pick.
Mm-hmm.
But then it gets to the point of it's just like, all right, well, if they don't pick Brood, what if they just pick Tinker? Right? Okay. This is another very good Drow Ranger hero. It's theoretically possible to be an offlaner, and it's a little bit better when you have the Drow Ranger aura, but more than likely this should be positioned for paired with some other offlaner and just a lot of harass being punched over and over in the lane.
Okay. And we did see that the Winter Wyvern can be played in the offline role, so you could potentially have like a dual lane of that together too.
Yeah,
Just
definitely.
because it's these Fnatic games, I keep on thinking about like, a Dark Willow and her high attack speed talent later on. So.
Wow. That's not a Brood. That is a dead hero. That is a guy we do not get to see all too often, or a fairy dragon we don't get to see all too often, that is. Benefits of the Puck, very good at initiating into these Drow Ranger lineups, like 5-man in front of a tower, pretty much the ideal scenario as a Puck player.
10 seconds remaining.
And then I guess there's also the Venge Puck synergy too, where later on you
Yep.
can get an Ags Puck and then just instant long duration stun.
It works with Toss too, so there's a couple neat little tricks here, but doesn't look that. I don't know. Puck is just a little bit sketchy. But these are 3 relatively weak heroes, and you can capitalize on the Cold Embrace. You can just kill people if they try and save them with it. So, neat stuff.
And I guess where is it going to be played too? That's the other question. Like, I don't know. I mean, you've probably got your 3 cores on here. This is a very strange tri-core lineup. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah, no, there's no doubt. I mean, Nana's like a classic Puck player. In fact, the guy has a 75% win rate on Puck, one of his highest. I mean, I can remember many a day back when he was Nana Puck, over and over. You know, Nana Puck versus Gabby Puck. That was the C matchup. That was the dream of who was the better Puck.
Yeah.
So they potentially could give it to him. That's kind of those situations where you might see Mushi go mid on like Tiny, and then you have Nana on a side lane Puck, and then Ice on something else. But it all sort of depends.
40 seconds left for Fnatic as they try and figure out what it is they want to do.
They could set up for... Can they get away with the Universe Void? Drow lineups with Void, always kind of fun.
There's a lot of ways to interrupt that, it feels like. They're just going to go the TA.
Okay, this is what we've kind of been expecting the whole time with the Drow Ranger.
Yeah.
And with the Visage removed, that makes it all the more likely. Very good against the Puck. That pretty much guarantees the Puck doesn't want to go mid. But I don't think it was going there anyway. I think they planned on the Tiny going mid.
Okay. Well, and it still is a good answer to the Puck in the later stages of the game. You just blink on top of that person. If he's disabled for any amount of time, it's going to be a kill most likely. Yeah, odd stuff. I'm not sure how I'm feeling about the Mineski draft. It feels like Fnatic is definitely more focused as far as what you would expect out of them. You've got some team fight out of the supports. You've got a heck of a lot of right-click damage. They're going to take the Bat Rider out of the pool again.
I feel like it has to be someone who's a little bit more in your face. Enigma, probably too many problems with both the Necrophos and the Vengeful Spirit, kind of irritating things. Wraith King would have been kind of okay, but obviously it's banned. I feel like Universe just wants to like be up in the front line and allow everyone else to throw that damage from behind. I don't think he wants to be on the Wyvern again, because they could do that, right? And then they go back for a DJ Windranger, and it's like, aha, we have our heroes.
All right. I mean, it would fit well with their style of play, but it might not be the best for this type of a game. PL banned. Still a hero that I think is sort of underutilized in the meta right now for how strong he can still be.
They're thinking it might be just a support Puck or support Tiny then.
Yeah.
With either one, kind of okay.
I mean, support Tiny does sound kind of cool. Can get a bunch of kills, I bet. All these squishy heroes.
The other thing is, like, generally support Puck is only good because of the ability for someone to go jungle, and then you go get the lane. So the only reason that works here is because the Tiny, you can send them to the mid lane, and then when you're in the mid lane as Tiny, you can take your tree and you can throw it at the Ancients to stack them over and over.
Okay.
And then when you go to farm the Ancients and you do a round of the jungle, Puck comes mid and leeches the lane there, and you can get 6 even without the tome at a relatively good time. Very interesting stuff here from Mineski. With a band like the PL, I feel like Fnatic have seen this before. I feel like they know that this one of these two heroes is support, and they're just already well prepped for it, you know?
Yeah.
Also, just pretty elusive hero, hard to deal with. They don't have a lot of good AoE because it's a draft strat. And they will go back for that Enigma. So that's kind of the frontliner, and it's a lot of control, but it is those problems, right? Where you have the Necrophos and the Vengeful Spirit. And even, like, well, I guess...
Another pick, too.
Yeah.
Where they can potentially, like, if they wanted to, they could just take a Rubik here and have that as the Tricore, and you've got a bunch of different counters for the Enigma. Also a dead hero, in some ways.
Yeah.
But...
Brood? Still? I mean... Brood? What stops Tinker here? Wyvern's kind of okay. The Enigma... They have a lot of, like, kind of okay heroes, but they don't have anything crazy good against Tinker. They have just Brood. Okay. One of those two. I'm really surprised Brood made it that far. A first phase Drow, and you 10th pick Brood them. Every ban, it's like, is this the Brood ban?
It feels like they must have known that that Brood was coming, though, right?
Yeah. But I think it still looks strong.
Okay. Ice, Brood Mama. We will see what happens here. Game number 2, again, it is the second round of games. The second game here of Mineski versus Fnatic. And we're getting ready to hop into it after a very disappointing loss for Fnatic, and Mineski able to claw their way back into it. We'll see if this Universe Enigma is the answer to the problems.
So that means more than likely we'll have our Broodmother now in the mid lane, as it is finally picked up from Ice. I feel like the hero's just way stronger there because of the camps and everything. Maybe they want to try old school just because it is Ice, and he's so used to it and everything, but should just be mid. And
Puck.
yeah, you look at these side lanes rather, like 2 very strong cores in the Tiny and the Necrophos. That's the kind of stuff that you need with a Puck, right? So you can pretty much go to either lane and have an impact. Most famous support Pucks, I would say it's probably Crit. I feel like he's played it the most out of all the teams I've ever watched, at least.
Maybe
and
like a Z-Freak or something.
Yep, Z-Freak kind of stuff too. So again, we already discussed it a little bit, but this idea of just you need to make space. Like that is, there is no more jungle. So we don't have some of these position 4s that used to abuse the jungle quite a bit. You know, I think of like Puppy and the Venomancer, or again, EG used to do it all the time with the Veno, where it would just like start jungling the Radiant side, transition into a lane push around level 5 and 6.
Yeah.
Those kind of things don't exist. So if you want to get farm one of these heroes, you are going to have to use the lane, and you need a hero that can get a couple levels up and then farm Ancients for the most part, because that's like the only way it's worth it with the 20% reduction in overall economy from neutrals.
So like a Broodmother?
A Broodmother and a Tiny. Like, they have 2 heroes that can kind of do it.
Yeah.
So a lot of possibilities here. And we saw what happened earlier today with our Broodmother was that the Spider just skipped the lane completely, goes in between the tier 2, the tier 3, or in that sort of area, and then with a wave coming and pushing forward, like, the tower can just be defended by someone like this Puck, and then they can get any other. Very sneaky stuff. So excited to see exactly where they put everyone, and it looks like Fnatic aren't quite sure, so they're going to pause it out.
Yeah, we'll have a second there to figure out what's going to happen. I guess, is it probably TA most likely? I mean, that's not like a terrible matchup, right?
With the Spires and everything?
Against the Broodmother?
There's definitely problems, right, when you're talking about this, the refraction and like the Spider hits and everything, so we'll see.
Definitely. Well, as we do have this slight little pause and everybody laughing about what's going on, we'll see where they go in the laning stage and what everybody wants to accomplish. Yeah, I'm really curious to see how this Puck works. I mean, this joke is sort of everybody in Southeast Asia has a Puck up their sleeve and can play it. I mean, certainly Jabs, with his history in the past, is very capable on this hero. I guess also can be able to go on a little bit better warding missions and stuff and sort of maybe play in the late game like a Sand King where you just go cut waves.
Yeah, you can be a little bit aggressive and be quite annoying. But the most important thing is that his Dream Coil just has instant possibilities because of that Vengeful Spirit swap that you pointed out and the Tiny Toss. So there's not too much pressure for the Blink Dagger because you can just get in range, throw it out with your Orb, and then there's other different like follow-ups. Like, you don't need the damage from the Orb necessarily because you're guaranteeing the snap. And that's where all the damage comes from now.
Worth noting that Moon, playing this time around on the Tiny, looks like he actually has a mid build. Is he going there? Am I crazy?
Yeah, it looks that way. I don't know. They might just give Ice Ice the entire bottom lane.
Okay.
That's interesting, though.
I'll probably plant a web in the mid lane and do a little fake out maneuver that we've been seeing more often than not.
Yeah. That's kind of crazy. Like, almost no one does this now, right? With the Broodmother. It's so rare to see someone actually take into these side lanes. So, Ice Ice, a true classic player. Perhaps this will be the option to do it. Definitely looks like with the item builds. So, Tiny. We kind of talked about the benefits, though, of being in the mid lane, right? Like this idea of like stacking Ancients and stuff. It is very abusable to help out your Puck, so that might be partially why they want to do it this way.
Yeah. All right, and we get the reconnect as well. So we look at the wonderful face of Ice 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 up there with the adulation of the people in the unpause. It's going to happen as the game is getting underway. A little bit of a tip going back and forth. Just teammates patting each other on the back.
More positive reinforcement. And yeah, exactly as you said, he's going to run on mid. He's going to throw down this web, and they're going to be like, heh heh heh, fools. No idea what we're planning.
And I don't think that they actually, like, normally this is a move that was sort of played out. Everybody had seen it, and they were expecting it. But, oh, a smoke up, going towards high ground. And Jaboogie hasn't skilled anything yet. Smoke will break. Spots up Wyvern. Oh, a little bit late in the recognition of what was coming his way, but he will still Arctic Burn, run away from him. Bramble Maze down. There's a lot of damage that comes through onto these guys. And it looks like they will be able to back out afterwards.
Yeah, Mushi almost thinking about having to whip out the salve there, but he'll be able to tangle himself back up. 25 more seconds before the banding rune, but with all that damage, yeah, Pilot Eye, DJ, they're feeling aggressive. They want to try and make a move here, but that just means there'll be a counter position up top as Envy has to back himself away. But, oh, that ward just got spotted. Oh, no. Nice defensive observer ward placed there from Fnatic.
Yeah, really well done. And they'll get that D ward very quickly. The unfortunate part, though, is I don't think that that ward spotted Ice 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 in the area. And he actually is going to look like he shows mid for a second. Are they actually sticking him there? Tiny's doing the blocking. Is it dual mid? What's going on here?
I believe it's just going to be Moon.
Okay.
Mushi, or Ice Ice, rather, is making his way all the way to the bottom.
Okay.
and he'll be up against the Wyvern and the Willow with the help of an Enigma. But the supports should be rotating out of here to go help the Drow.
Okay. Already the one deny coming out from Universe. This is going to be the downside to you know, running this Broodmother down here is a lack of experience.
Yeah, it depends on how much you can abuse the camps there. From ISS currently just going to walk onto Willow.
How's it going, everybody? Meanwhile, the matchup of Tiny versus TA, not the worst in the world, as oftentimes you can burn through Refraction with the Avalanche. And DJ just going to take some punches from Ice here as well, as this lane stage gets started here. And we'll see if Eternal Envy ends up being the sacrificial one again.
Bramble May's going to whiff down bot. Still all three heroes here, putting that pressure on Ice. Side lane play not going too well. And this is like a whole different hero when it's not played in the mid lane.
Yeah.
It still counters Drow strats pretty heavily because it's all about the solo push and the abilities that you have by yourself. Like, this is why the hero traditionally, when it wasn't run in the mid lane, was still a counter to Brood, because you could either be in the, or sorry, a counter to Drows, because Brood could be in the lane of the Drow and just keep spamming harassment at her because she can't really handle that, throwing creeps on her, or the second they start 5-manning, you're just in the other side of the map. You're just pushing towers and trying to equal that out for your own team and getting a net worth advantage when you can just be 4v5.
Well, and so far it's not really been the harassment that they wanted to level against Eternal Envy from the Brood, but still Jabs is doing a good job of it. Pretty good base damage on the puck, as well as just being able to zone him out and give Necro all of the farm that he wants right from the get-go. Hasterin picked up there by Ninja Boogie. Making a move back towards bottom. Is going to run here into Pile Die, and oh, just like that, they forced the TP of the Brood. It wasn't going the way they wanted for Ice, and he's out of there.
Yeah, things not looking good. They want the matchup versus the Drow Ranger, so Envy probably just going to TP down bottom as Mushi will make the TP.
Now, are they going to TP
Gets
the rest
the
of them
D-ward
away?
first.
That's the question.
Force back Jabs there.
So they did bring in the Winter Wyvern now, and this is still going to be a little bit of a battle up there.
Oh, they're going for Mushi
lane.
bottom,
they found
though.
a lot of damage onto Mushi. This Necro trying to run away. He does have another Tango, but cannot get out of there. First blood drawn by Universe. It's 15 and 16. He has just been owning this bottom lane.
Enigma is absolutely incredible, I think, in the current patch. Like, it's not too surprising they expanded on the first phase because you just have so much damage for denies. It is incredibly difficult to secure them if you don't have some sort of a crazy nuke.
Yeah, and this is probably one of the bigger problems, too, because you end up getting to the later stages. If he goes a Midas, the level, 15 talent ends up becoming like a GPM talent, even if it's just the cooldown.
Yeah. But with the Drow strat, like, I think you just want Helm, and you just want push. So, possibly a Midas after. It's definitely feasible there, but the BKB still going to be important, even if there are some problems with it, because he'll just never get off a black hole if he doesn't have a BKB. At least he has a chance with it.
So we talked about mid lane, relatively even as we get a stun down bottom yet again, dealing the damage to Universe. They'd love to be able to pick him off if possible, but they kill off Ninja Boogie first. And now you're going to need to salve back up on Universe. Oh, that gets canceled. That one hurts.
Jeez. Still has 2 tangos and a decent amount of HP regen, so you should be okay. But no Courier, I'm sure, coming back there for a while. But 2 kills to 0. And they will find the rune for Moon at the top here. Invis will be revealed on the creeps, but he'll have that in his pocket. You know, might be able to make a quick TP if he shoves out the wave and then suddenly someone dies. It can be very difficult to deal with.
One of the more annoying heroes that you have to deal with is TP rotations come out, because it just does so much damage. And good silence there. And the phase shift as well, the dodge projectile coming in from DJ. And still, it's just the story of Universe kind of dominating this bottom lane. Even though Necro is able to have a better time of it than the early levels as they rotate in and find a kill there onto DJ.
Yeah, nice wraparound there. So it's not the kill that they want onto Universe, but I'll still be kind of happy with that, as Moon will be able to walk right up on Abed, maybe, no, not even going to go for any sort of cheeky toss play.
Yeah.
One thing that's kind of nice about Moon's build is that because he's not up against any sort of a weird matchup, like we talked about, like that Tiny versus the Brood that we saw, like he's still, even against Templar Assassin, able to go for this kind of greedier, like going for toss, right? This whole idea of just having a lot of magic bursts and roaming around for nukes and making plays. So if anyone ends up being by themselves, trying to move away from like the big draw 5-man, that Blink Dagger is just going to annihilate him. And yeah, wow, instantly forced the TP of Envy to the Shrine. Barely any pressure. This is where Brood starts getting scary.
It's funny. You just leave her alone for a couple of minutes and you feel like you got it under control, but then immediately shows up a lot of spiders. Actually stuck over there, though, and he doesn't have a web. And has to eat the tree, and because of that, almost gets taken down by Envy in the right clicks.
All right, a little bit dicey there. But even with no assistance, just so much of a burden on this tower. Pushing on in there. Catapult did a lot of work, but half HP gone just from the first catapult all by himself here.
Yeah, and they're actually 40 in the wave, too, so he will have another creep wave coming in a second. Can maybe tank 1 or 2 of those catapult shots before the catapult goes down, and just like that, more damage onto this tower.
Yeah, really forcing the pressure. Jeez, that's crazy. 1 catapult wave, no help.
Yeah.
And that, like, a Wyvern's a decent hero, you know? That's when you think of it, it's like, oh, okay, it has a little bit of outspam, but it's just not enough damage to deal with these spiders.
And particularly not this early, right? That's the bigger issue is, like, once you get into the levels, then you can one-shot range creeps and really, you know, deal with the push. But it comes that much earlier with the Broodmother, even though she's only level 4. So, bottom lane, they've been battling, but top lane, the Brood's been getting the lane that she wanted.
Yeah, it looks very good from Mineski. I think they're quite pleased with the fact that Jabs is having an okay time. Downsides is that his small campus blocks we couldn't pull. And that means Mushi's far up here. So a go opportunity.
Lots of damage out, but the turnaround is going to be there as well. They have the Wave of Terror. They're going to start to turn onto DJ, able to go to the Shadow Realm. Dodges that one. And then the turnaround to make sure he's live.
Jeez, dangerous stuff there from those Eidolons. Jabs really wanted that farm, but I don't think they got it.
7 minutes and a relatively quiet one so far. As the spiders are looking for the last hit, they do manage to get it over Envy.
Okay. Moon is being a little bit careful mid, just because there is a trap.
Have a toss, right clicks. He does have another one. No more refraction for 12 seconds. If you get another toss off here, that's 4 seconds away.
Yeah. No, not gonna be possible. So they'll go back and Shrine. And Venge comes mid just to back him up. Oh, he's got a South now too, so Nana very happy here, or Moon rather. Ninja Boogie gonna find a couple traps. They don't know about the ward yet. They'll be even happier when they see that.
Hey, that's great.
Of course, if they see it. And nice little throw out there with the Wave of Terror from Ninja Boogie. We'll stack the wave. Or sorry, the Ancient Camp. And gets us. That's a triple stack now available.
They take down the ward. Everything looking good for Mineski so far as Ice 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 is continuing to keep the pressure on along the top side of the map.
Bit of a DC issue there, it looks like. But no, this looks very good. And that means Tiny can rotate over to those Ancients in a moment here. Probably wants a few more points in the tree, actually, because he did go for the max toss. So he'll just be hunting for kills. But Broodmother can abuse the Ancients. And all that really matters is I think they want to rotate Jabs mid, because you're hitting at 8 minutes. And ideally, you'd like him to get 6 at 10, and then the Tome could even go to the Venge. And then they're just a kill threat, right? They just smoke up his puck and Venge, coil, swap, snap. And they can take down virtually anyone on the enemy team. Just probably not the TA with the refractions would be the only issue.
The other big thing that would be great about it.
Oh.
Look at that. You join Mineski as the mill player. Oh, that's great. Some nice little facts in there. Don't only have her pause. Yeah, Moon is, I think that a lot of people were sort of criticizing him at the outset of his career. I think we still tagged up as Nana. He had a name change, came back strong, and started just owning
There
everybody.
you go. That's all he needed. A rebirth.
True enough. But yeah, it's looking pretty good. The scary thing about this, I would say, at least a little bit, is they do have TA on top of Ice Ice Ice. Can't hide away in those trees, and he gets punished.
Meanwhile, that bomb Jabs also caught with a Cursed Crown.
Well, able to phase shift, walk away, but not good enough. DJ gets the kill. So 2 from Mineski going down, just as we were singing their praises.
Yeah, that means DJ's getting some gold for himself too. And then, of course, Abed, the most important hero to be snowballing for that dire side. Getting up there, and Universe no slouch. He is the top of the net worth for the dire side, only surpassed by Moon, who is making his own rotation with an Arcane Rune. So despite his low mana pool right now, he's got enough for the kill, as long as it happens soon.
Oh, they want to take down that Helm of the Dominator creep, and they will get it. Those jabs that picked up the gold from that one.
highlight eye.
2000 dodging away, trying to hide and get his
They
way
need
out
Universe.
of there.
He has the black hole.
The rotation comes in. They need to get off this black hole immediately, but it's not going to happen. They take down Uni.
Oh, give him the
With
scythe,
4
Mushi.
heroes in the area, they're going to try and kill off Pylai Die as well. They have another toss here in just a second. Mushi, toss your buddy forward. It looks like they are
here
going
goes
to do
Mushi.
just that.
Air delivery. Meow.
One-time hit, one-time kill. He's in the grave for 31 seconds.
I reap your life.
Mm-hmm. Oh, Ice mid. He's going to farm some ancients. Still 1 stack on the left, and he'll just farm the unstacked camp because a little bit tough to go that hard on the ancients right now. But Abed's going top, looking for some bounty runes, but Moon's already there. So he's going to be able to bottle up both of them. And Abed will get a regen rune at the very least, and that actually makes it too risky for him to go fight as Envy was rotating over too.
Yeah.
So if you guys missed Envy's last drought game, basically what happens is Envy sits in the jungle for about 25 minutes. And that's pretty much how the hero works.
Yep.
You need your other 4 heroes to be extremely strong, and look what they got. They got Wyvern. Oh, that looks like some good team fight. You know, a little bit of pushing and everything. Enigma, oh, same thing. And then you got Dark Willow for crazy plays, lots of high magic damage, can instantly assassinate a single target. And then Templar Assassin kind of does the same thing. So good little balance between their 4 heroes, and Envy presses E.
And it's very, very good because you've got all of these creeps that start to get thrown around this area. It's going to be a root. Jabs needs to get out of here. And he might actually still get punished as they have an Arctic Burn and are going to be able to chase him down. They find him with the fear and breaking down those trees and killing off Jabs. That one hurts.
Yeah, we have not really seen any sort of aggressive plays from the puck quite yet, even with the Dream Coil being available. They don't have the levels there on the Venge, and they don't quite have the mobility yet on Moon here.
They did smoke towards mid. I'm not sure if Mineski saw that one, but Fnatic are in position. They did actually hit that scan. But it looks like Universe just wants to stay down on the bottom. And it looks like they still hanging on to the black hole, while also having that Helm of the Dominator creep pushing stuff out.
No, Ice had enough.
I feel like hang is the, it's another word for lag, if I'm not mistaken.
That's their cool term.
It's not the Kale.
Did you know that Tiny's Toss will interrupt channeling abilities, even those cast by allied heroes? That's a handy tip.
The other one is use control groups to issue orders to different sets of units under your control. The set of control... I'm done.
That's like the longest tip I've ever seen. Oh, my goodness.
Oh, sorry, guys.
Sorry.
Pass it.
Go.
Oh, there we are. Eye of Scotty was guarded by the Azure Dragons. That's a cool one.
That's a tip? The Slacks wrote that one. That's
I'm sure.
like, we just need something useless.
All right, Universe Bedlam. Whoever is standing there is dead. Just black hole him and drop that ulti. I'm not going to go for it. Probably the better play. They will give Mushi a little punch on his backside before they head out of there. But yeah, 12 minutes in, 9 kills so far. It's what felt has been just sort of a slow pressure from either team, both with heavy tower pushing capabilities. But both the tier 1s just taken for each of them.
Ninja Boogie really needs to stand somewhere while someone kills Ancients or something. He's so close to 6. You really don't want to smoke right now. Can someone just kill this camp, please? Oh my god. That feels like... Think of how useful Swap would be right now. It's like we're moving in with a Dream Coil in this puck. And Ninja Boogie's not even there.
I mean, they do have Toss, which is, I guess, the other way to do it. Nobody's going to have BKBs, obviously, at this point. And they find Pylai Die. Just going to Reapers and everything drop down on their heads. And
that's
that
one way to
should
get
be
6.
a tier 1 tower.
Envy? Hello? Team? 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 Ninja Boogie's just standing next to Envy, just keeps hitting creeps.
He does not care
He's like, well, if you're not swapping me, clearly everything is fine.
Bottom lane, Moon does have Avalanche Toss. He is going to get feared, though. And, well, DJ hits there. The Cursed Crown still chasing forward for more. There's the Dream Coil. The swap out to get the stun. Magic Missile to finish. They throw the tree at him, too.
Comboed. We got it. Finally made it. 13 minutes in, 6-5. And Abed, I feel like I haven't seen him in a while. What's he been up to? He's got himself the Blink Dagger and almost 700 gold now in towards his Desolator.
And he's going to try and farm up these stacks now, it looks like, to get in towards the Deso. Obviously, the strength of a TA and why I think this team really loves it is you can have these other supports just invest into the game of Abed later on. and then also get those levels. Immediate smoke up afterwards. Still
Dire
about
are
2,000 gold from finishing off the Deso, and they're going to run down here to see if they can find a kill on the Ninja Boogie or possibly Jabs. But he's already away. They're looking for bigger fish. Oh, they dodge by Ninja Boogie. The smoke breaks there, and they have found one already at the get-go. Jab's going to be stunned, going to be killed. And Fnatic striking back yet again in a very back-and-forth game number 2.
Yeah, it feels like we even got
Let's see what kind of trouble
there
can
we go.
get ourselves into.
Reconnecting in there. All good. But yeah, not a lot of use for the black hole yet, of course. Kind of waiting on that one. No big successful moment for Universe. But yeah, got the threat, so it allows them to kind of play aggressively down here, which is obviously very handy for them.
Yeah. There is also Envy now with DJ moving up. They're just sort of going in tandem to make sure that Envy does not get ganked, it looks like. Keep that man alive at all costs, pretty much. Because, you know, Blink Dagger here on the Tiny, it does create a ton of problems. Because you can basically blow up almost any of these heroes, I feel like, if you're able to get the Avatos and then just a couple more hits. The scan is going to connect onto Fnatic. The walk forward.
How bold does Abed want to be? Oh, double trap. It's so tempting.
The trap is right on top of them. They're thinking about going in. The root comes out as well. This is so well baited. They're just hoping that they walk up here onto the high ground. Universe moving forward as well with the black hole. They connect with the Curse Crown on the moon, and they do manage to actually interrupt it. The fear on it too. The damage coming out now from Abed with the slowdown. Jabs in trouble. He does have the orb to try and get away, but the stun, the silence, they got him caught. Winner's curse, and that should be the end of Jabs.
Man, DJ putting in work there with the control, just using the brambles, the Cursed Crown, and then as well as that Terrorize, just setting up everything. This is what no one needed in his game really for Virtus Pro, where they just weren't able to set up everything for this Templar Assassin. I feel like DJ, just all of the elements of control that you require. And where's Envy? Well, he's up top. He's just hitting creeps. Is what he's supposed to do.
Yeah.
Just staying alive, keeping that aura. 0-0-0. This is the dream Envy game. Having a good excuse to just punch small camps.
I mean,
excellent.
And like, look at his items too. He's just going for all-out agi whenever possible. I think that he ended up after the other game going like after Dragonlance just straight butterfly.
Yep.
Radiant's bottom tower has
Just
fallen.
more for Abed and a DD rune with just a couple more 100 gold till he gets to a Deso. That could be a Roche on the horizon.
Yeah, I wouldn't mind a trap in the Roche pit. As Abed had just gone by, but he's got one in the vicinity at the very least with the rune.
And you know, the other thing, they didn't have to use Black Hole in that last engagement.
Yeah, and the BKB is actually done, I think. Wow, that is crazy. 16.5 minute BKB right now for Universe.
And you can tell that this type of a draft is just put the foot on the gas pedal and go. Get yourself a Roche, take down the rest of the tier 1s, and possibly even try and secure tier 2 towers.
Yeah, this is actually wild. I mean, this is BKB and then the Deso 2. I don't see any reason why they would be slowed down. I mean, Ninja Boogie is just like wave of tearing waves up here to try and keep things pushed out.
I mean, this was sort of the story of last game, but the difference is there is no Tinker in this one.
And Ice is going for this more supporting cast Broodmother build with the Radiance, someone who can split push a bunch. Radiance is also just one of the best items against a Drow lineup. It just gives you very good effective HP because it's 17% mischance on all of this extra bonus damage that's being added.
Radiant's middle tower is under attack.
Cutting through the creep wave now, Abed. Still top net worth in the game. And whenever they make this move over here, they don't have Drow, but that doesn't matter. He's just comfortable giving everybody 50 damage, basically. While the rest of them move around as 4.
Well, you were mentioning before Jabs and this idea of the support puck being able to like cut waves and dance around the whole map. That's pretty much what he's going to be doing this game, right? Radiance Broodmother will be on one part of the map, Jabs will be on the other. And unfortunately for old Mushi, I feel like he's going to have a kind of a similar game to what happened to Envy, too, where he just might end up dying in some of these fights. I feel like his hero, he has the Ghost Shroud to try and survive, but he's to be really involved in the engagements, and he's going to try the Yules to keep himself a little bit more survivable.
Okay.
It's a nice option.
Hidden ones have blessed me.
Well, again, Jabs moves out here. There's a lot of Eidolons in the area, and if they wanted to, they can just catch him. Didn't see Universe there.
Not a lot of heroes can take down a puck so easily, but just so many tools in the kit there for a Dark Willow. And typically you're saving that Terrorize for big team fights and everything, but they're not really happening at the moment because they're the ones who are controlling the pace of this game. They choose when they want a 5-mana Rosh or 5-mana tower. That's not really something that Mineski have a choice in. So using that big long cooldown, like even if they used a black hole right now,
Yeah.
I don't think it would be that easy for Mineski to punish. The best thing they could probably do would be go for a blink smoke with Moon on the Tiny.
Oh, totally. And even that isn't necessarily guaranteed success because you've got a lot of like semi-defensive-y type of things. Like even throwing a Cursed Crown out there. Nobody has BKBs ready yet, and it's going to cause problems. Bramble Maze makes these fights that much more difficult to work. It is an Echo Saber that's done now for the Tiny, and
that is a lot of damage
Yeah.
to be thrown down on top of everyone, but still hard to find these opportunities, especially if they start grouping once they notice just how strong he is in the burst.
I feel like we've been more often seeing the Shadow Blades coming out from the Tiny early on. So this is a little bit of a departure for that. I guess it's more chances for kills. As again, Abed just cleaning house down bottom.
Man, Jabs is getting absolutely obliterated this game.
1, 6, and 5.
It's
great.
like you have these puck games where you go mid, and let's say in the olden days it was when someone just counterpicked you with TA. And your game is terrible, you get no last hits, and more importantly, you get no levels. Because Puck isn't actually a slippery, survivable hero until you have levels.
Right.
The Blink Dagger is one thing, and the Yules is another, but Phase Shift level 1 is pretty much just good for disjoining, and that's about it.
Yeah.
Very hard to actually keep escaping without a lot of points in Phase Shift and a Blink Dagger. And
Well,
now the push comes top.
And the way that the sort of skills have been changed, it's been a lot of buffs to level 1 Waning Rift to try and make it more of a value point, so you can go for more in the phase shift, but people still feeling like you need that nuke damage potential out of it to be a hero, to push waves. So it's kind of a catch-22.
Well, we've got our smoke plate, and they're going to find Envy, because they know what he does. They've seen this Envy before.
He gets hit by Avalanche, toss the Gust, pushback, still going to die. So a good pickup there, what's they need? But at the same time, they end up losing a tier 1 tower top lane.
Yep.
Nothing comes free.
And Envy is the least important of their 3 cores, by far.
Dire's middle tower is under attack.
Still a 3,000 gold lead, but while that is happening, it's Mineski that want to try and pressure for this tower. Ice has been able to finish off his Radiance and is going now for a Solar Crest. One of the cooler types of sort of carry-ish builds where it doubles down on evasion.
Bit of a baby night Dota, you know.
Yeah.
One person spamming it past couple years, trying to make it work. Definitely did in some of their games. Definitely didn't in some others. But Ice, you know. At least they got it before the first Rosh was taken by Fnatic. I think that's pretty important because it's a nice little tool to have in that engagement. And Ice is he's dancing. He's a little bit stuck there. Spider's all freaking out, but he will fight his way out. Or almost.
It's okay. Yeah, he is looking a little bit glitchy for the moment.
It's okay. He'll find his way out. Perfectly done.
Abed now finishes off the BKB. So we've got double BKBs. Haven't seen the use the one from Universe yet. And Drow Ranger also going for her BKB around what, 11, 900 gold away or so. This is looking like it's going to be a heavy push from Fnatic around the Rosh timer.
Feels like they just don't want to really take that fight, even though it looks kind of okay for them. But the Radiance was one thing to allow to be finished, but now there's actually a Blink Dagger on Jab, so suddenly he's useful.
But they're going to smoke up now and try and make the play. Yeah, it is scary letting this go on longer and longer. But I don't think that Fnatic are letting this slip away from their fingers yet, at the very least. It's only 3,000 gold lead.
Still a substantial amount of time left on this smoke. Scan will find them. Spider's scouting. This is notorious Ice here.
They have the Blink Dagger on Universe, too.
Yeah, just trying to lean way back. They think it might be an offensive maneuver. So you can see Universe showing he's not the first one caught. Ninja Boogie comes in to sacrifice himself.
Oh, dropping down wards everywhere. They spot out this one, and they are going to even keep Ninja Boogie alive. But he's still being that sort of roadblock in between the enemy team and the rest of his cores.
Yeah, they're just going to wind up backing. And the whole time Mushi was pushing up top. So he has his Yules, and he already has a plate mail too. Excellent value item versus a Drow strat. Same sort of idea behind the Radiance. Just always focusing on that physical damage, the miss chances from the Radiance, the general armor from a plate mail. And what about Envy? Hasn't shown any signs for anything. Just going to go for the straight BKB. So that is 3 10-second BKBs now, I believe, for the Dire side. I think they're ready to fight.
I think so too. So you can see the gold from kills is Still relatively heavily in the favor there.
Is that
Fnatic team.
how much Puck is given in kills? 1.7k. It's like
Not
half
sure
the
about
lead.
that one.
I mean, it makes sense. He's got 6 deaths.
Yeah, it's true enough.
Definitely sounds about right. Thank you. Excellent overlays.
You know, another thing to keep in mind here, that it really is Mineski itemizing all over the place just to deal with this right-click damage. Like Ninja Boogie, the value buckler, is one of the items that he's picked up. And, you know, even little things like the, you know...
Plate mail on the Tiny for Moon, too. It's
Why not?
Same kind of stuff. And now they're the ones who are around Roche. Now, Fnatic, they weren't able to close out the last game that quickly. Ran into a couple slight issues. This game, they haven't really been putting the foot... What?
They ended up losing it in the end.
Yep.
Like, it's a tough thing, and this has always been kind of the issue with Fnatic when they get a lead, is how far do they push it versus how much are they giving the enemy team a chance to get back in.
Dire's bottom tower is under attack.
Some nice little EE Sama facts.
There you go. Man, we got facts all over the place. Hacks and facts. And back they go. Smoked right on top of a ward there for Fnatic, but it's kind of like a defensive, like, I guess, like repositioning smoke, really. And they're likely going to predict this. So they are smoking up to the north. There's only really 2 ways they can go, right?
Radiant are scanned.
They just missed the scan. It was a little close, and Ninja Boogie's trying to pop it over on the side there.
There's just a catapult that's in the area, and they have found one. It's the Necrophos. If they can kill him off, Ava, toss, BKB out. They connect the black hole onto 2, and they're not able to interrupt it either. They can't quite get into range, but still Moon lives through it. A DD on this Tiny, looking to just run at these heroes, and they end up being able to find the Winter's Curse onto 1, but Jab shows up, and now they take down Pile Die. So Fnatic lose 2. Never mind. Triple kill. Abed's going crazy. Okay, this is a problem, although now we have Ice 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 that turns back around. He takes down Abed. So the double turn, it happens. And now they're chasing Envy. He doesn't have anywhere else to go. He does have a Gust in 3 seconds.
He has BKB, but no TP.
Oh, man. And the damage that's coming out. The Gust is there, but you cannot run away from the Spider that easily as he has another round of webs and Envy.
There's just a slow, painful death. You can't do anything. There's no point popping your BKB. You are dead.
He TP'd into that fight because he was in the bottom there.
Wow.
And the final tally ends up being pretty great for Mineski, I think.
Yeah, a bit of an odd fight. It's about a 1k gain for them. But great black hole to start from Fnatic. They got the Tiny inside. He had the BKB going. He got the Necrophos inside, so all he had to worry about was the Vengeful Spirit. But she was stuck so far away and also low on mana, she couldn't get the swap there. But however, there was just not quite enough follow-up damage. I know just maybe not perfectly in sync there with the Drow or the Templar Assassin. So those 2 heroes still remain in the grave. Pile Die has the curse in 5. He's starting to pressure in here.
Scary stuff. They also have the Terrorize available to them if they want to use that from the Dark Willow, and they do ping it out now, realize where she's at, and there's going to be the jump forward. They're able to find the coil. They snap it. No, they don't quite get the snap. It wasn't long enough range, and instead they turn it back around and kill off Jabs, who's had just a tragic game here right from the get-go, and they kill off Ninja Boogie. Double kill for DJ. This freaking player.
Yeah, they don't have the same speed for the Roche threat either. It is so much faster for the Dire side, but they feel this pressure to come and fight anyway, so Jabs will now buy back after not returning for the previous fight. And Ice Ice needs to make magic happen again.
And it's not going to happen. It looks like taken down low in the BKB still goes down. The right clicks are just too much.
I mean, this guy has a Radiance, he has a Solar Crest, and still pelted down very quickly. Jabs returning, doesn't have the Dream Coil though, and they're just going to fully retreat. They know they can't win it anymore.
And again, you think about those little things. Maybe if that coil is placed a little bit higher up, then you can get the snap off. DJ doesn't get that double kill. This situation looks incredibly different. Maybe it's Mineski that would be the ones that get the Roche. The little things matter. 27 minutes in, 4,000 gold lead for Fnatic, and the first Aegis in hand.
Jabs the lofty goal there of the Aghanim Scepter, but yeah, DJ just playing so well in this matchup here, looking towards the Blink Dagger. Once you have that Yules, you feel like such a better hero on Dark Willow. You're already very fast. It lets you make sure that you can go for the GPM talent, which is great because it helps you secure your Blink Dagger, and just staying alive longer in these fights, kind of forcing spells cast upon you. And now with the Blink Dagger, just be looking to probably focus on the Necrophos, trying to keep him out of the fights, maybe so Mushi can't finish off his allies. And then he's also that consistent factor who is punishing Jabs over and over.
And again, a little bit of a pause as they're saying there's some lag going on. I'll A little bit unfortunate for Mineski.
Lag, jabs, PC. That's good. Cover for your buddy. When he's not having a good game, you know.
I mean, to be fair, if there was something on, Puck is a really rough hero to play it on, but you also take a look at this item build you have. TA has the MKB that's picked up to deal with the evasion problems that we've got. Feels like it could be quite good, and man, look at those percentages.
Does that feel accurate? 4K lead? And 78% chance with a Drow lineup. I can see how that seems feasible, especially the way Enigma has been looking lately.
Yeah.
And Universe, yeah, he is going right in towards that next big solution with the Lincoln Sphere, so expect the next black hole to go pretty much just as well as the first one.
Dark Willow, mentioned the Blink Dagger, picked it up from the side chop there, and, well, bottom lane is still going to keep the pressure going.
She has good opportunities for solo kills now, too. This hero just outputs a ridiculous amount, especially once he hit level 18.
Yeah. And Mineski just trying to stay in this game. Whatever chance possible. Oh, and down bottom you have the trap set up also, as they're looking to see if they can take down DJ, but that setup down there that you saw.
Oh,
DJ's
DJ's dead up top
lane. Evil Scepter lift up. They go into the Shadow Realm. TP, is it going to be enough to keep him alive with the snap happening? Yes, indeedy. Oh, it actually wore off before he finished the TP.
Yeah, I thought the silence would be enough to burst him down, but he still took off the Shadow Realm.
Bottom lane. The traps were set. They've been found yet again. They have the sentry down. Can they find him a second time? They have a second sentry. Oh, no. Detection. They swap him back to get him away. Ninja Boogie saving a life. Moon jumps in the Madman. They will use the Winter's Curse now onto the Spider as Abed trying to run away. They throw out the webs and try to chase. He's burning through his refractions, but not enough.
That was a pretty crazy Winter's Curse. He parted the sea there, Pylite Eye, to allow Abed to run and get them way to safety, and that will keep the Aegis up. Make sure they can try another push with it. Oh, but Aghanim Scepter now complete here from Mushi. Very scary stuff. Even no matter how big of a lead you have, this can really easily turn the tide. It lets a lineup that maybe doesn't have the best building pushers get a little bit further after each fight victory, but they have pretty scary push, Tiny and Broodmother, so things can get dicey extremely quickly for Fnatic if they lose one of these key heroes to the Scythe.
Yeah, and it's one of the type of things, too, that you don't always, you know, keep in your head how quickly it comes back up again. So one kill leads into another, particularly if you go into that save your buddy syndrome that we've seen a couple of different times in these group stage matches. But 30 minutes in, Broodmother continuing to just run around the map ice, wanting to farm up whatever possible, but it does feel like they've been kind of constricted by this Fnatic team, who still haven't been able to take tier 2s, but they've been applying the pressure. At least the mid and top tier 2s.
Eerily similar to last game, though, isn't it? Doesn't it feel kind of the same way?
We got a hero with Radiance, you know, it's happening all over again.
I do feel better about Fnatic's chance, though. I do, again, just the Enigma. Like, Universe, the X Factor, if there was a player I could pick to be my clutch guy, who was going to save this game for me, and if I could pick his hero, this is pretty much the combo. It's like Universe Void or Universe Enigma, so.
Yeah. And they've got the setup with the other heroes as well. You know, the Winter Wyvern, easy play into a black hole if you're able to find it. Like, if that ever happens, just a Winter's Curse with 3 heroes nearby, the fight's over. So, 6,000 gold lead, 11 to 18. Bottom lane, Envy trying to find somebody split pushing, but they won't. Instead, they'll run into Abed, who again is kind of caught out of position. Does have a BKB, but dropping down low, that's just Aegis done. And Moon can throw out the Avalanche as he comes back
Universe
alive.
is nearby.
Oh, they're maybe trying to bait this out. The
it's
Reaper
too
Sight,
late.
it doesn't matter. It doesn't happen.
Yeah, there wasn't enough follow-up for Universe to go. Oh, he actually popped the BKB. He thought about it, but just couldn't do it.
Well, somebody used a BKB.
Yeah, unfortunately, it wasn't TA.
That hurts.
And DD now for Moon as well. And they draw the line down mid, but more realistically, it would be those bottom towers they could just quickly take down, even through backdoor if they want. Yeah, that looks to be the plan here from Moon.
I think that this is a really nice thing. This is like the 3rd time I've seen Moon run around with a DD rune, too.
I feel like he's going to, like,
Tiny.
two-shot this tower. Oh, he's going to see a Wyvern.
Oh.
He's Bloodlust.
Walk forward. Yeah, he's just going to go hit the tower, probably. And And this damage that comes in is absolutely tremendous.
Bam,
Yep,
bam.
there it is. With the Echo Saber. It happens pretty
70
quickly.
seconds. My God, still so long.
I know. It's a real
I
problem.
thought it was going to be like 30 when I look up. It's like, oh, God.
The Reaper Scythe really hurts. And this is what you're talking about. It's back up again. Like, they can go in, and if they find another pickoff, I mean, this net worth lead, it's kind of starting to fall down low again.
DJ's still here, but I mean, what kind of a play can you make when your TA is dead? It's just so much of your net worth, so much of your team's damage. And, oh, Ninja Boogie even gets to deny up top. Okay, shows up, doesn't let the creep wave get it.
I mean, this is, again, you have all of the towers down for both teams, and they both push fast, so it comes down to the team fight. And, you know, it's all good and well to talk about a black hole, but if it's not getting off in the fights...
Yeah. I can't believe Jabs was able to get this Aghanim Scepter as well. Really
Yeah,
catching up here. 125 last hit. This guy 2-8 and 7. A very rough start.
Not to mention the Broodmother, who has the BKB done, and just the casual plate mail. Yeah, this is a scary time. Also, look at the vision that you're getting right now out of this Broodmother's Spiderlings all around the map.
Just in general, too, pretty defensive wards from the Radiant side as they were worried about like fights coming from the Dyers. So now they're starting to get their own foothold, likely to see that get warded up onto the Dire half of the map and see if they can just go on more excursions with Tiny. He does so much damage right now, and they're a relatively squishy lineup. You know, these aren't Neon Disc Fires or anything. Plenty of heroes that can just blow up. I'm not sure what Fnatic can do in this situation. They're trying a smoke play, moving out from there, but it's not looking like it's going to amount to all too much.
I mean, if they do find somebody, they've got a tremendous amount of damage with that 20, the level 20 talent from Drow Ranger.
Yeah.
All of them getting 94, but oh, Mushi.
Ooh, Mushi. Okay, this is a nice grab.
Yeah. Although he does have a blink and he just TPs away.
Oh, they need a midnight pulse.
Oh, the Terrorize
actually
hit him! They got the Terrorize! And that should be enough to finish him off, saving the black hole even.
All right. That was unbelievably close, but very nice play there from DJ. This, I mean, we've said enough, honestly, but we can just say more. This guy's on a whole other level. He really has stepped up for TI. Yeah, you just go for it. He's level 18 too, so it's only a minute cooldown.
Yeah, that's crazy. So a really good play there from the Dark Willow. It could potentially matter depending upon the timing of Roche.
It's going to be... Oh, I guess we don't know.
35 seconds.
Ooh. All right, spiders are in there, but trap is in there, so both teams going to have an idea. Ice will just run right on past, but hard to do much. Yeah. Blink to the high ground, quickly canceled by his 4-step.
And meanwhile, bottom lane, they're still getting the push on. Jabs, with all of this net worth he's been able to get, is getting the hurt onto the towers. Moon here as well with them.
Oh, but it's DJ. He wants to try and make a solo play happen with the Curse Crown and the Yule Scepter. There's still not a second, like, real defensive item here for the puck.
DJ doesn't really have the greatest vision here, but they are going to run right by each other, and now they see him. Jabs in the area. Good silence, and then the blink away.
Could have been a bit dangerous there.
Yeah, that might have been a death.
Oh, that TA trap, they put a sentry in the pit. I'm not sure if they scouted Roche yet, but they did put down a sentry and destroy the trap, and now Roche is in there, so thinking neither team know. Oh, but the DD rune, though, they're definitely going to check.
Yeah, this is actually, if they run in here, if Mineski are not absolutely prepared, it's going to drop so quickly. But it looks like they don't want to take that risk as of yet.
They just want to, like, kill this next wave, too.
Yeah.
Before Mineski's a chance to respond.
I mean, this is a scary place to take a fight. Moon is still up front and center. They managed to jump forward. Avalanche off the mark. Universe still has his Blink Dagger available on the west side of the engagement. Abed has found Mushi. He's already dropping fairly low, but they do have the Growth Shroud, now staying alive. And meanwhile, on the other side, they managed to find it. BKB Black Hole. It's only onto one, and they managed to swap him out. Venge gives the life for the Tiny, but they lost the Necrophos as well. And Pile Die also ends up going down as you have Ice who runs in.
Terrorize!
Center, so much damage. The Terrorize pushes him back in. Puck is going to... Oh, wait, he gets the face shift. The blink away. He might live. No, Silence dead.
The Terrorize timing post-phase shift. Perfectly crafted there from DJ. Puts him on the killing spree, and that's 3 down. Ice did skate out the Roche Pit before. He's now found his way over there with the Radiance turned on. Looks like he's going to have to go for a play and see if he can sneak this one. At least that looks like his plan. Nope, he's TPing out. Guess
probably
not.
for the best. Again, a good swap, saving the Tiny.
Power of the Lincoln Sphere, though, where, like, now that that's up, Venge just forced to throw the body in instead.
So Roche is going to start to fall while Moon pushes out the bottom lane, and Ice 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 tries to deal with the rest of them. 50 attack speed talent for him. Yet it's still feeling like not quite enough as Roche does go down. Cheese still left on the ground. Looks like that's going to be Envy's prize. But with an 8,000 gold lead.
Yep. He gets the same build again, too. It's just like this whole, like, doesn't have to be engaged, really, right? I mean, 22 kills on further side of Fnatic. He's 3-2-3. He just stays completely off map. 345 last hits. Don't even see me, so he buys the BKB just in case he fights. By the way, it's still 10 seconds. And he's able to afford an entire butterfly before he's even uses BKB. Yeah. It's such an odd strat, but it's working because they're just not finding like these assassination possibilities of him in the jungle. He's just playing too elusive.
Well, and even though they do have the Aegis and Cheese, it's still a little bit scary going in here without a black hole available. And Universe is getting towards that refresher, but it looks like now Fnatic are at least going to take the time to sort of push out these side waves a little bit.
Waiting for any sort of a slight misstep outside the base now. Just holding that high ground, but the constant spiders will alert Mineski to the presence of Fnatic still remaining.
Yeah, see, this is the thing that's just so scary about this Drow strat now, is that if you lose one hero on Mineski, they're going to take your base, and there's not really much you can do about it. Buybacks become so much more important, but then if you have to buy back, then you're also losing that net worth advantage even further. It can just snowball in an instant.
Well, DJ has a BKB. That's pretty cool.
Smoke up.
Okay. See if we can get some coil plays going.
We are just a little ways away, 50 gold roughly, from a refresher for Universe if he wants to finish that one off. And the smoke might end up bearing fruit.
Okay, so they're going to end up running into each other here, and a lot of pressure on the Paladin. Oh, they know. You see him faking out.
There's going to be the coil, the swap back in. They break it, long duration stun, lots of damage coming in, but with the terrorized bait, they can't really take this fight at all. And now the chase forward for more. They found themselves Jab's Yule Scepter lift up, but silence and killed. Just like that.
Yeah, at the very least, they didn't find any of the core heroes there, so Mushi will escape to the east, and Moon to the west. But experience and gold, even more, going the way of Fnatic. A couple talents get picked up there, and Envy will just start pushing bot.
And Mushi and Mineski really are playing like Fnatic was just a couple months ago. They just keep cutting waves and trying to hide away and get pickoffs.
But they're approaching the high ground here. They still have the black hole. They still have the BKB. They don't have the puck answer of the Dream Coil available, at least at the moment. Might be forced to buy back here. And there it is.
It's the buybacks we were talking about. So difficult to deal with.
DJ still has his BKB.
Yeah, and they still have black hole available if they want to go for it too. Abed's up front and center. They get the miss on the silence, but the buildings are falling. The tier 3 is already down, and it's about to be the first barracks. Swava just off the mark. Moon not able to get there in time. They will take down that catapult, but it's the most Pyrrhic of victories as they jump forward. Get the silence. The coil is there as well. They need to find the swap, but can they actually do it? There's going to be the winner's curse for the turnaround. Terrorize to land in. On top of it, they have the black hole. They're going to land it onto both, and also getting the side blades perfectly placed by Abed that managed to find the kills, and now a lift up here onto Moon, who is in the air, wants to do whatever damage he can. He takes down Universe. Abed gets cold embraced at the last second. The Cursed Crown connects onto 2 as well, and Abed goes into the meld, but with that extra bit of vision, they can't quite shut him down yet. DJ getting chased through by Ice Ice Ice. He ends up falling. Envy wanting whatever he can, but on the other side, they burn through the Aegis.
Yeah, Abed coming back up. Is there any follow-up? The Scythe is going to be returning, but I don't think there's enough damage. Ice Ice can consider coming back through, but DJ's going to be returning. In fact, it's Ice Ice caught in the trees.
Oh no, he's stuck alone. Mushi jumps forward. He wants to stop the assault onto his broodmother, but it's not going to happen. They end up going down. The Vengeance Illusion doing something.
Oh, the courier.
Really, it's not all that much. 2 minutes gone. This is Fnatic, upset about how last game ended, and making a stand in game number 2.
Well, I said it a few times in the previous match that it looked like it was over. This time, I'm pretty sure. It just depends on how much they can get. It feels like they can clean up all of the racks right now.
Yeah.
So much
they're just
time
calling
down.
it. They don't want to mess around anymore. And the
right.
buyback from the Necrophos to see if he can stop this push that's coming through. He is going to have another Reaper Scythe up soon, but it is so hard to get to that percentage that they need it to.
I see their strategy, though. They're thinking, look, you know, stand in the fountain. Maybe he'll come in here again. It's our best chance.
Jump for Abatos. No, the Hurricane Pike reaction precast by Abed. He made it beautifully done, and they find themselves another couple pickoffs. GG is called. Fnatic get revenge.
Very well played by Fnatic. Much crisper than the previous game. I think they had a better lineup for just like closing it out, so not not to flame them too hard from the last game, because I think that one was a little bit harder. This one was a little bit better crafted, but they went up against a Broodmother, which a lot of Drow Rangers tend to struggle very hard against. It didn't end up being a mid Brood, so it was a little bit different, but
Yeah.
Ice Ice is still kind of a classic in terms of like scanning across the map. But
Totally. And you know, it felt like they were prepared for the Brood. Like,
yep, definitely. I think they knew it was coming.
everybody knew it was coming.
Yeah.
Like, you pick the Drow Ranger second pick overall. Of course there's going to be a Brood. And they had answers for it. So really cool stuff. Any real big standouts? I felt like there were a couple times Abed got caught out. Probably just DJ again?
I know. It sounds like a broken record,
Right?
man, but he was pretty incredible. There's no doubt. Like, he just makes the fights seem so easy for Fnatic every single time. All of his terrorizers were on point. I think, did he miss any, honestly? Felt like they were
That's
all
it.
kind of
I don't think
perfect,
so.
right? And then these brambles during the laning phase, too, he just always waited for the right moment. It's tons of damage, but you do actually have to land them on top of people. So, constant harassment. And then Envy, I think Envy played really well, too. Just like,
Yeah.
they have a strat. They know what Envy is supposed to do, and he does his job. He doesn't get ganked. He stays off the map and helps provide all kinds of damage for his teammates who are roaming around getting some kills.
Totally. Well, ladies and gentlemen, that's going to do it for our second series, second game, and we're going into the third one now. That's right, we can count here. So stick around, everybody, as we're going to be back with more from the TI8 group stages.